Alright, so tonight we're going to dive back in for episode 13. We're going to begin the finale, the final episodes, or one or two episodes we're going to have here as we go into the finale for Isle of Dread. Our heroes have traveled all the way into this temple, and they have made it past into the first level, and they have taken a rest before they delve deeper into this temple. And there's a lot of things that they're starting to figure out. Like they know why they're here. They know what is the driving force for them being here is to stop some type of being either summoned or resurrected. But they got a name the last time that they overheard some of these. Finn had actually gone up, Wes's character, and had stealth and heard some of these cultists or tribal leaders or whatever were talking in a strange tongue, but he could understand it because Volo had cast comprehend languages on him, and he heard them talking about bringing back this being. It was the Watcher. It was named a couple different things, but it was also called Dagon. It was some type of being from the beyond that they were either worshiping or being controlled by. It was kind of hard to tell, but they know that there's something here, and it's been the driving force of why they're here. And then what we also saw is that as they fought their way, they fought some type of mummified saber-toothed tiger, which proved to be a horrible combat. And then something happened that reversed time, and they were able to fight it again and not have something dire happen. Now, with that event that happened, only Glendon is aware that happened, but also Barnabas is aware that it happened. So the other players, they don't realize that something happened to reverse fate. Something has happened, and only Glendon and Barnabas is aware of the change, because what happened in the old timeline is that the tiger leapt up, grabbed Volo, killed him, and Volo turned to dust. After Glendon prayed to Myliki and Barnabas joined in the prayer, something happened, some type of divine intervention or something reversed the flow of time. It rewound the situation, and they were able to have that combat again. This time, Volo lived, and they were victorious in the combat without having anyone fall. But only Glendon and Barnabas know that something has changed. So that is, after that, they continued on into the dungeon, into the temple. They got down to the next floor, and they found this statue that it was like an altar that had this being holding his arms out and had like these large like tentacles coming out of its face. And we believe that this is probably the Kapru that we keep hearing about, these beings on the other side of the island. They didn't know if that was the other villagers, the cultists, or whatever they are, but now they're like, is this monstrous being the Kapru? Without investigating too much, Mcgrunden decided he'd had enough of looking at this thing, and he smashed the altar. And that was a good place to stop.
Take that.
Yeah.
Take that altar.
Take that altar. So he smashed the altar, and they barricaded the doors and took this opportunity to take a rest and rest and recover and heal and kind of prepare for this next stage of going down. So with that, we're basically at the campsite, and we're going to move into, just kind of, if anything you guys want to talk about before we move on to the next part. So with that, let's begin with Mcgrunden. Mcgrunden, what are you doing as you have recovered, and contemplated the events of the previous day?
I don't know, Mcgrunden's starting to feel stranger and stranger about this whole situation with swapping bodies essentially with Mavok, and now being this half dragon where he used to be a dragonborn for so long, and just gaining new experience with with his echo, and feeling more like, I don't know, maybe he could switch places with it if he tried hard enough. And just exploring that in his mind.
Okay. So I think at this point you're kind of sitting there, you're kind of staring back and forth between you and your echo, and there's moments you kind of lose yourself and not knowing which one you actually inhabit. which is a very different feel than you've had before. But you're getting a stronger connection, a stronger bond with this echo. You're also getting used to having a tail, like sitting down with a tail. At first, where does it go? How do you sit? Now you've kind of getting used to having the tail. You're also
At first, it was like spooning with someone, where it was like if I sat on it wrong, it'd fall asleep. You know?
and once your tail has fallen asleep, it's just the worst.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's just the worst.
It hurts so bad.
It hurts so bad. You just can't get it to wake up.
I get tingles right at the very end, and it's
like,
like there's nothing you can do about it.
All right. So then you're also dealing with, whenever you're coming through these corridors, you're not used to going down it with these wings, like having them kind of like, flared out or tucked in. So there's a little bit of navigation. You're trying to get used to having wings and a tail. All right. So that's what you're doing now. As all of this is happening, what is Glendon doing?
Definitely saying some prayers, healing anybody that needs it. I'll ask Volo if Volo, feel any strange? Are you different at all about anything?
I don't know what you mean.
Okay,
I just feel the adrenaline and the rush of the place, and I want to get home safely.
Get you there. We'll get a little prayer chain going with me and Feligar and Barnabas.
Now, as you're sitting here having this conversation with Volo, you kind of notice over your shoulder that Feligar and Barnabas are having a pretty heated debate about the tenets of their deities. Barnabas is trying to talk about how Myliki and Savras kind of work together because Savras is all about time and fortune and favor, and Myliki's all about protecting the wild and protecting the realm, and those things kind of can go hand in hand. And Feligar's like, no, you are totally wrong, and is very just kind of oppressive in his view that there's only one way, it's my way. He's bullish about it, if you will. And it's interesting how Barnabas is constantly, kind of like water is kind of flowing with it, but it's every time Feligar tries to get heated with the conversation, Barnabas backs up and is just like, very, very zen with it. But it's entertaining to kind of see them kind of go back and forth. With that going on, what is Finn doing during this time?
I've gotten very used to sticking to the shadows and trying to scout ahead. I'm listening, and I'm a little worried about the traps because I know I've already spotted one, so that worries me about moving forward.
Okay. All right, so with that, y'all get some rest. You have enough torchlight, and also between the actual lights that Barnabas is able to cast on different items, you're able to kind of keep an eye on this room, keep it safe, and you rest. And then after you've eaten and you've drank some of your wine and things that you're carrying with you, you're able to continue on your journey. So if everyone is looking at the map, make sure we're all in the right place. We are. You'll see that we're basically looking at this door. So the door on your left is the one that y'all came down, and the door on your right is the one that is ajar. You opened it slightly, Finn, to kind of see that it moves forward and kind of cuts to the left before dipping down. But you haven't ventured much further than that because of the darkness. You just not mess with anything further, but you just kind of, you need to know like what's going around this side. So you have a little bit of an idea. From that, what do y'all want to do moving forward?
Mcgrunden says, "Hey, let me try something. I forgot we were in this dungeon. I'm going to use my Echo avatar.
Okay.
And I'm gonna I'm gonna hand a torch to the old Mcgrunden.
Okay.
Old Dragonborn.
Okay.
And I'm gonna send my consciousness into it, and my Echo will make its way down into the dungeon corridor.
All right. So everyone
else, like a full sprint.
right? So everyone else is kind of sending you.
He's
all
not being cautious, that's for sure.
You see this echo move, open the door, move. Now, what's the range on this for you?
I think it's 1,000 feet.
Holy cow! Okay, he moves up about 10 feet. He turns left, and basically what happens here is there are basically two ways to go. There is like a broken path that you can kind of jump to what would be like the second level down, but there's also a massive tunnel that has been dug out that looks fresher in some sense, and you can see light coming from the tunnel south, heading down, and you also he senses heat coming from there as well. So which way do you want him to go? Do you want him to kind of like leap over the broken path to go to what would be the second level, or down?
Well, it's very much like we're doing these, broken pathways of time, essentially, right? So I figure our party will go down the tunnel, freshly dug tunnel. My echo will go the broken path.
All right, so,
try and jump over.
All right, so let's just do the echo for now. So everyone's basically sitting back.
Yeah.
He makes the jump without a problem. He kind of scurries over to the broken path, and he continues on to the second level of this temple. As he moves through, you're going through corridors. You're seeing a lot of just what you would normally see in a dilapidated old temple that's out of use. There's just cobwebs, there's a lot of dust, the air feels stale, and as you're moving through, you're seeing where a lot of these villagers probably lived and moved about, but it's completely empty and has been abandoned. As you move through this whole corridor, you do find an area that looks like maybe they worshipped or they gathered as like an amphitheater type of an area. But looking around, you don't see anything moving around outside of like little bugs or creepy crawly things you would find in the darkness. As you move through you canvas this whole area. You don't see anything outside of this one area. It looks like whatever lived here with these villagers, they've cleaned it out.
Okay. So I'm blind and deafened while I'm doing this, but I'm describing from my body for the rest of the party what
and I figure like your eyes
seeing
kind of like
and
roll
everything.
back as you're kind of just like Beastmaster, kind of visioning it.
So I'll dismiss the echo and come back to the party and kind of shake it off and say, when we go down, we'll go down the freshly dug tunnel. The broken path doesn't seem to lead anywhere for us.
So does the party want to go, or do you want to send the echo down there as well?
The party can go.
All right.
Wes might be, or Finn might be able to scout.
So what's the play, Finn?
We're going the other way that the echo didn't go.
Okay. So are you going forward like we did before? Are you going to kind of scout it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you're moving down the tunnel, now this is tunneled out. As you're moving down, you're probably 30, 40, 50 feet in front of everyone else. Everyone else has got their light. You're making down this tunnel. It is a perfect circular tunnel. It is fairly large. It's 40, 50 feet tall or wide, and it's almost perfectly circular as you're moving down it. As you move down, there is this ambient light down towards the end of the tunnel. It's not much, but it just gives off this little tiny glow in the distance. Now I can't remember. Now, Finn, you have dark vision, so you see, and as you're getting close, there's a heat. It's not just muggy, but there's also there's a heat. And as you get closer into this, you hear something like liquid moving about or bubbling, and you're kind of confused on exactly what it is until you kind of turn the corner and you look, and basically at the bottom of this chasm that this tunnel goes into, you see several open pools of what looks like it's not lava, it's like mud or just really thick water that's bubbling and boiling, and whatever is down, it's extremely hot and muggy down here. But you see all of these pools kind of all around you that are bubbling.
Is it where the tunnel opens up and it's like
Yeah,
this?
basically
or-
the tunnel goes down and opens up into this huge underground cavern. And as you're looking about, you see these little bubbling pools.
Hot springs. I need a bath.
Yeah, something like
Are
that.
there any people down here?
You
Go ahead, Glendon.
you scan around and you don't see anything as far as people goes. These things are the pools are rather large. Let me get your token on here and see what we can do. Give me 1 second if I can grab. All right. Okay. So this is what you see. I'm also going to, we learned our lesson last time, and we're going to do Explorer mode. Okay. Okay, so you move through this chasm behind you, this little tunnel behind you, so you can kind of see what we're doing. And it opens up, and you see all of these pools, and you see paths between the pools. But you just as you look like to your right, you look down, and it's just this steaming hot mud. And you just hear this big bubble just. Bloop, bloop,
So
like,
the white is the paths, and the other is the.
right,
okay.
right, and you're on the edge of these paths.
What is this right here? Like cave wall?
Yeah, so it looks like it kind of moves up on like a little bit of a ledge.
So there's a ledge up here.
Yeah. No, that is a cavern. That's the cavern wall. So basically, this is a ledge, and then that is a cavern wall.
Okay. Can I shadow step to here?
Yes, you can.
Actually, I want to shadow step to here so that I'm kind of behind that a little bit and can peek out.
Okay. All right. Move your guy. I got you. Okay. As soon as you land onto what feels like soft dirt that kind of gives under your feet a little bit. It's very, very soft. A lot softer than you thought it would be with everything else you've seen, and you just kind of land in very soft dirt. Immediately, give me a stealth check. I'm assuming you're trying to be as quiet as possible.
Oh yeah.
So give me a stealth check. Okay, very good. So you land up on top of. Is that me texting? Someone's texting.
No, that's
Okay.
work. Go ahead.
All right. So you manage to get over there without a problem, and you start looking around. And like I said, the map is accurate. So what you're seeing is you're seeing all these different pools about. Now in the distance, the rest of the party just sees Finn go into the darkness at this point. Who is behind him? Who's directly behind him?
How far was he scouting ahead?
Probably 30, 40 feet.
Is it me or is it Feligar?
Matter.
I guess it's me.
All right. Now, Mcgrunden, as you're going forward, you do get a little bit of a glow off of your glaive. It's just tiny, but what you do have is Barnabas is right behind you, and he has cast light on his staff. So I'll put him right behind
Excellent.
you. Let me add his light.
Be good because I can see nothing.
Right.
It's very dark down here. Very, very dark.
Let me go grab the torch. Does that allow you to see now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So that light fills the cavern. Like that is a very bright light. So as it illuminates the cavern. So now you can kind of see what Finn was seeing. So what do you want to do? Now the only thing that's casting the giant shadow now is the light is behind you. So the shadow of Mcgrunden is just cast into the cavern in front of you. Mcgrunden, what do you want to do?
That's muck.
Yes, that's the bubbling muck.
You're muted.
Yeah, I can't hear you, bud.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
Yes, if that's the bubbling muck, I guess I'll venture onto the path.
Okay.
Accidentally move the torch, but yeah.
And I'm kind of watching them
All
and
right.
seeing if I see movement elsewhere as they're moving in.
We're going to move Glendon. Behind Glendon will be Volo, and then behind Volo will be not Barnabas. Hang on. We don't need
Okay.
Barnabas. Hang on. Feligar. Okay. So all of you are entering into this cavern. Finn, you were scouting about. You're looking. Give me a quick perception check. Wow. Wow. Okay. You do
Very high or very low?
Yeah, you do actually notice that this pool is moving about in a way that feels like something's in it.
I'm going to go. Just the smallest noise that I can make that they would hear me.
Okay. Everyone is on super high alert moving into this.
Or just wave and be like,
the light illuminates where you can see Finn in the darkness kind of pointing down. So Mcgrunden, you see that he's pointing at the bubbling muck to your right.
Take a look. Can I tell that? Can I see the same now that I'm looking at the bubbling pool?
You
or
turn
am I
and
confused?
look, and you see ripples in the muck, but everything is bubbling. But you definitely saw some ripples.
I say, be careful, Barnabas. Kind of ready myself for anything to. I'll attack anything that jumps out at me.
Barnabas moves forward, looking about, and maybe we should be hasty as we move through here. Glendon, are you moving up at this point?
Yeah, I can't grab my token. There we go.
I got it.
Is this the only path? The one forward? Or is there any?
That's
Is there
the
one to
only-
our left or our right? I can't tell.
The one to your left and your right seems to end into the rock. So you have the
Okay.
one path forward, but after that it forks.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I'll just be like, Volo, stay close.
As soon as you say that, Feligar looks and goes, "Have no worry, he's with me." And he kind of hands one hand on his axe, the other hand on Volo's shoulder.
We have extra torches.
Yeah, Volo's carrying one.
Just one, huh? Who else is Barnabas?
Barnabas is all the way. Barnabas is right in front of you. He's got light cast on his staff. That's what's illuminating the cavern.
It's like kind of like mud almost. There's like an earthy quality.
It's
to
an
it.
earthy quality, like a bubbling mud. There's a lot of heat coming from it. It's the closer you get to it, the more heat you can feel coming off of the muck. Finn, what do you want to do?
I kind of want to move around over this way, so I want to get the outside perimeter of this place. Just kind of
Right.
bounce around.
You could make it to here. If you want to do a shadow jump.
Oh.
So you jump into the shadows as soon as you land. Again, this is is not as soft as the dirt you came from before. You land, you look at this path that's kind of been dug out of the mud, and you see that this ledge in front of you, you see another path, another cave entrance heading south.
Note.
And now Mcgrunden, what are you doing?
I'm going to continue through the little pathways.
All right, move your token.
So I'll move my token here. I don't see the cavern entrance, so I'm going to continue up this way.
Trevor, if they were to follow the path up to me, is there like something high to climb, or would they just be able to walk up to the thing where I'm at?
You'd have to climb this.
Okay.
And Barnabas.
Maybe we should do that kind of on the periphery.
Barnabas will move his light with him. And Glendon, can you move your token, Glendon?
I think I can now. Yeah. Wait, we're trying to sneak and be slow?
You're not going to sneak with a torch.
So, yeah, if so, not Mcgrunden's not doing a very good job of it.
Okay. So as everyone's moved into the chamber at this point, everything, all these different places, they're all bubbling and moving about. It seems like there's not just heat coming off of this. Mcgrunden, you notice this, like as you look at the mud in front of you as it's bubbling, something is in the mud. Like you see ripples, like you saw like out of the corner of your eye before when Finn was pointing down, but you look, something is swimming or moving about in the muck.
In more than one puddle, or just that one?
This is the one he sees over here.
I'm gonna take my glaive and like the butt end of my glaive and swish it around a little bit.
Good.
Get an idea for what the mud's like.
You press it into the mud itself, and it's extremely hot. Like the mud is much hotter than you thought it was. In fact, you wonder if the blade, if this was not a magical weapon, would it have melted whenever you put it in there? It's that hot. It's deeper than you thought it was. It's not just a small pool. There's actually like you go several feet down and you don't find a bottom. It's deep.
Okay, I relay this information and say we should get out of here as quickly as we can because this is extremely dangerous to be around here. Searching for exits. And
do I hear them saying any of this?
Yes, you do.
I'm going to be like
motioning towards there.
As soon as Finn starts to motion, Mcgrunden, you look up. You've pulled and you're kind of like shaking the mud off of your blade. As that mud hits the dirt, you can see steam hitting the dirt of the mud itself, like it's that hot. And you're just kind of looking back. As soon as you look down, you look back up, and you see something kind of starting to be able to like coalesce in the center of the mud. And all of a sudden, you see this thing like just kind of emerge out of the mud itself. Everyone roll initiative. Let me go ahead.
Want to bring your thing up first?
Yeah, let me add turns and we'll do all that. So hang on. Let me remove. Okay, so now the turn. Do I have to add turns? Is that what I have to do? All right, so. And we're going to do the same thing. Volo is going to go with Mcgrunden. Barnabas is going to go with Finn. And Feligar will go with Glendon.
We just type it in there, right?
Yeah.
No, you can roll it.
However you want to get it in there, it's fine.
Did not take.
What is that?
A tentacle?
It is. Tell you what, I'll show you what that looks like. So emerging out of the mud, and we move this out of the way so we can see. Emerging out of the mud is this like it almost looks like as if the mud is kind of like coming off of its head. You can see these large tentacles like as the mud is dripping off of it. It has these like staves or like a pitchfork as it's coming up. It looks like it's almost like a salamander in the sense, but it does have arms and it does have this long tentacles. You realize that the visage of this looks similar to the altar that you saw before, up higher, like maybe it was an altar to one of these things, as this thing kind of bursts out of the mud, and you can hear it immediately start speaking this guttural language that almost like it hurts you mentally to hear what it's saying. Whatever it is a dark speech. And I will say this, Finn, as soon as you see this thing pop out and you hear that language, you recognize this as some type of ancient primordial language. You don't exactly understand what it is, but you realize that this may have come from one of like the elemental plane of water.
Can I roll religion?
This wouldn't be in a religion check, but I'll let you roll it if that's what you're thinking. Go for it.
Trying to think. Well, like, what other knowledge is there?
3 maybe.
Nature.
Nature. Nature.
Nurture.
Ooh.
Lord.
I didn't say what the roll was.
It's got friends.
3 of these things start to pop up. And they're going to be going on a 1.
It's a mudda. It's a mudda was a mudda. A mudda what a mudda.
Okay. Finn, Mr. 22, what are you going to do?
I'm going to move far enough up to where I can jump to here. Behind
What
him
is the
in
range
shadow.
on? Is it 30 or 60 feet?
Let's see. Shadow step. 60 feet.
Yes, you can.
So, poof.
So, interestingly enough, the shadow that you're jumping into is the shadow of Mcgrunden that's being cast from the light behind it.
Right.
So, Barnabas is casting that light, which is blocking. So, basically, you're jumping into Mcgrunden's shadow on the other side of this thing. All right, so these things burst out. They're starting to like the mud is melting off of them. They're speaking some type of guttural language. They are larger than you thought they would have been. As they get, it's weird. At first, you have a hard time understanding exactly what form it is because of all the mud. As the mud drips off of them, you see their arms coming up. Finn, as soon as you see this, you immediately jump into the shadow. You are behind it. The problem is you are a good 5-10 feet away from it. It's in the mud.
So I'm not close enough to like its tail there.
His tail is actually in the mud.
I'm gonna go ahead and hunter's marking.
So, all right, so you've already used one bonus action to move over there. Hunter's Mark would be another bonus action, or is that all you want to do?
I mean, so if that's all I can do, I was just gonna use it as my action because
That's fine. I'll allow that. I got no problem with that. All right, so you move over and you mark the target. Okay. Are you done after that?
Yeah, I mean, I
You
don't
old
really
Barnabas.
have any I don't have any range that I can really do anything.
Okay.
I mean, I could throw a dart at it, but I think that would give away my position.
Right.
Like, I'm more like waiting for it to get closer.
I understand. All right. And also on your turn is Barnabas. And Barnabas is going to move up. That's Glendon. I apologize. Barnabas is going to go up.
Glendon, protect Volo.
Sorry, I was getting our tokens right. All right, Barnabas seeing this thing pop up in front of Mcgrunden, he runs up and he says, "Kind sir, would you let us pass by unabated?"
Love Barnabas so much.
And it worked. If there's a moment where this thing's looking at it and it lowers its staff, this is looking at Barnabas. Glendon, it's your turn.
That on the one at the bottom left?
He did that to this one.
Oh, okay. All right, so... okay. I'm going to... see how far I am. 5, 10, 15. I'm going to Thorn Whip this one at the bottom left.
Okay, this one here.
Whip. I'm trying to click it. I don't know if it's working.
Yeah,
okay.
You can click it. All right.
It is, you see the save here. Doesn't say anything about a save. Testing time, 1 action. There has to be some sort of save you can make for that, right?
Yeah, unless it's an attack.
I think Thorn Whip is an attack.
Yeah, okay, it says save and attack. Okay, +5. Okay, yeah.
So just attack it.
Right, so this would be +5.
I think the save is for the pull.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You go, this vine comes out of you. You go to hit what you think is its arm, and it pierces in and just catches nothing but mud. As you fling it back, some of that mud sprays on the ground. You see it simmer and smoke off the ground as the whip comes back. So,
Gotcha.
but it's looking at you now. Is there anything else? So that was your act. So you moved. You've got an action. Is there anything else that you want to do?
Who's back here? Feligar with Volo?
Mm-hmm.
They need to switch order.
Yeah. I'll hang back here.
Okay.
I'll move this way. And move about right here.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
All right. It's Feligar's turn. Feligar is going to run forward. He's going to basically grab Volo and bring it behind him. He's going to put his axe in front to kind of shove Volo behind him. And he looks at the beast and he says, "I command you in the name of my Leaky, you will face me." So he's going to try to command it.
Yeah.
It will not work. No.
Oh.
No, that's a save.
It will not be commanded.
It will not be
you.
commanded. Okay. So that is, he's basically shoulder to shoulder with you. So he's gonna get all your bonuses. He's in your aura.
Hang on. At this time, Barnabas looks at Feligar and he goes, 1 point, Severus.
That's great. All right. And with that, it is Mcgrunden's turn, and also Volo.
All right, so this one up here is looking a little less threatening after whatever Barnabas did to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like lowering its weapon a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? All right. I'm going to take flight with my mighty wings.
Oh, that's right.
They're 5-foot squares.
Yes.
Heat
I
makes
also
things
forgot
rise.
that I had wings. Makes you feel it. Listen. I go here. I'm going to bonus action manifest me echo
Okay.
over here. And I'm going to attack this foul creature with my mighty glaive.
Okay.
Twice.
Yes, you will. The 16
Nice.
will hit.
All right. So I'll hit him twice. Very nice.
Oh, that was for both attacks. Perfect. Yeah. So
Those for both attacks,
so
yeah.
both hit. Yeah.
So for the first attack, I will re-roll the 1 with my great weapon mastery.
Yes, you will.
Roll. There we go. The 2 stands. 4 damage on the first,
Okay.
and 7 damage on the second attack. 11 damage total.
11 damage total. All right. So you go and you slice down. Your blade is cutting through the muck and actually hitting it. As you hit it, one of your blades actually nicks one of its tentacles that's coming out of its mouth. It cuts it off, and it immediately starts flinging around. This purple ooze starts coming out of its mouth as you come back with the blade. It is now totally fixed on you.
As the purple ooze comes out, I flap my wings and I back up like five feet.
Okay. All right, and with that,
And that's it.
It's Volo's,
Mr. Volo.
Volo's turn, right?
Mr. Volo.
Mr. Volo. Volo is going to.
Play us a song, Piano Man.
I think he is. He's going to. He's going to tell Glendon, I suggest you stab it with your mighty sword, the magic one. I think that would be well. And with that, you will have a Bardic Inspiration. That's what he'll be doing with his bonus action. He will also take a cue from our friend Barnabas and suggest that we mean you no harm. Let us pass unabated. And he will.
He looks over. He's like, "That's 2 points for Severus now."
All right, and now it is their turn. Now, with that, this thing begins to back off, as does this one. They actually start like going back into the muck, following the suggestion of Volo and Barnabas. The one here does not see that as the case, and he looks at Mr. Make sure I get this correct. Mr. Mcgrunden. Mcgrunden, make a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh. No. Ruh-roh. Me, no likey. That is a 4. Does a 4.
Your eyes roll black, and now you are completely dominated by this creature, and you hear this insidious voice come into you that says, "Kill your friends and serve Dagon."
It sounds like a really good idea. Sounds like a really good idea.
And with that, he will back up into the chamber. He's basically going to swim backwards. Top
Sounds
of
like
the
a
round.
really good idea.
Finn, it is now your turn.
How far
Now,
is...
for point of order, Laszlo, what I want you to do is I want you to treat everyone else here like they're monsters and just go and kill as many of them as you can.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is this dominate person?
Yes.
He can chance to break out of it. I don't know if that's like concentration.
So, just so you know, this is an OSR type game. So don't try to meta it. It's very different.
No, I'm just trying to think of like if I were to guess, would I want to restrain him or would I want to go after the other guy? All right, so
How long does that suggestion work? Like, are they gone forever, or are they just kind of like, okay?
I'm gonna bamf into his shadow
Okay.
and or attack him and try to stunning strike him.
Okay. All right, now,
Did that to my echo.
now here's the thing, though. You don't know what.
Oh, my
just
shadow.
happened.
Oh, I get you.
Oh, I don't know that it's happened yet.
You don't know. You just saw that he said something to him, and he's just flying there. At this point, nothing.
Okay.
You don't know. That would be meta. So the thing in front of you has swam back down.
So he's going out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I want to try to move. I kind of did this the first time. I'm going to move, try to get far enough over to where I can jump to here and attack this thing.
That you absolutely can do. So basically, using your monk speed, you can run up there and then jump because you're still getting the light. This is interesting. So the light is following Barnabas, and that light is now, again, you're jumping into the new shadow of Mcgrunden cast up against the wall. So you run up, and I'm going to say like you're running, doing like some parkour thing. Like you run, as you're kind of like running sideways, you leap, and then as you leap across the mud, you jump into the shadow across the wall, and you just reappear behind this thing. So now you are behind it, and he's actually moved far enough back where you could actually strike it.
Is it close enough to where I could make a melee touch attack?
Yes.
Is there places that are not covered in mud?
I mean, at this point, like he all parts of him are kind of steaming off, so it's really kind of hard to tell what's mud and what's not.
Do I think I could touch it without burning my hand off?
You can try to kick it if you're quick enough.
Because I'm only going to get one attack, right?
Well, you could still get the attack action, so you could attack melee twice, or if you're wanting to do a melee spell attack, which I know what you're thinking, so you could either do that one or you could get 2 attacks.
I'll do them. I would get an extra D6 though because of sneak attack, but only on one attack. But I don't have Hunter's Mark on this guy.
You will be flanking it, so I will give you advantage. Oh no, you're coming out of your.
I auto get advantage
because
after Shadow Stepping.
Yeah.
So does that mean melee only you get advantage, or on spell attacks you get
Melee spell attacks you would also get advantage.
Okay, so what am I rolling? Do I roll just unarmed?
It would be just it's technically counts as a spell for you, but you're going to be casting it as like your spell casting, which would be a wisdom basically.
So I only get my wisdom bonus. I don't get my dex or anything.
Mm-mm.
That's weird. It seems like you would make a touch attack with your attack, and then
I'll give it to you. I agree that it's weird. I'll give it to you since you're a monk that you'll get your regular melee attached attack because you're basically just trying to slap him.
I'm just not trying to do damage. I'm trying to make contact like I would with my hand if I was punching it, but just trying to channel
shadow
ability.
box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll to caress.
All right. So the damage is irrelevant.
I understand.
Just...
It does hit. I see your first attack does hit.
Right,
so and this is your inflict wounds is what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eh.
Okay. Hold up a second. Okay.
This is the one Mcgrunden had already heard on.
All right, so you reach over, you just kind of you touch it. If you weren't as fast as you are, the heat of this probably would have burned you, but you just pop it extremely fast, like monk training. You just and you just barely touch him, and you feel this necrotic energy, this dark energy, just come out of the stone that just the Eon Sun is circling you, and it just rolls down your arm and extends into him. As soon as you do that, you see its whole shoulder just kind of drop as this purplish black energy like burns into it. It immediately turns and looks at you. As this energy just kind of rips and tears at its flesh. So you have taunted it at this point. So it is now looking at you. So that is Finn's turn. Also on Finn is Barnabas. Barnabas is going to do he's a wise old turtle. He's going to give me no idea what's going on. No idea. I was just trying to see if maybe he knew what was going on with Mcgrunden, but he doesn't.
Good.
Okay.
Tonight I dine on turtle soup.
He is going to run basically run under you, and he sees the target, and he's going to reach out and try to cast with the light off of his staff. He's going to try to extend that light into a bolt to shoot the salamander.
Point of order before he does that.
Yeah.
Does he get
when he gets within 10 feet of me?
He does. Yes, that would work.
He enters my threat range, and I take a opportunity attack.
Yes, you do. All of that will happen at the same time. So he will get the spell off, but you swing at him. You hit the side of his shell.
Almost had him.
Because his AC is rather high. So you stab at his shell. You hit him. His shoulder kind of leans back. He still manages to get an attack, but he's also kind of looking at you like, what was that? And he attacks you. As soon as he goes, I'm your friend. Calm yourself. All right. So the 14 that he made the attack, he actually lands the attack on the salamander. So
Whole bunch of ones.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's okay. Okay, so he lands this attack. Now, that salamander is glowing, so the next person that makes an attack on it gets an advantage. And with that, we're going to go to Glendon's turn.
Okay. Does it look like I can't really see the bottom? Does it look like I can go this way? Or would I have to go, like, around... I can't, like, would I have to go over here?
You're going to have to go over towards the echo.
Okay. Gotcha. So I'll move, 30? 5, 15, 20, 25, 30?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. And then
Okay.
if that's all you're gonna do, you could make another move action.
Okay.
Unless you want to try to do something ranged.
Let me see how close I am here.
You're within 30 feet. I'll give you 30 feet. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to thorn whip it.
Oh, yes, you will. All right, make your attack. +5.
With advantage?
And it will be with advantage because it's glowing. Because of the guiding bolt. Good call, Wes.
Oh, I don't waste it then.
No, go ahead and use it.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. So
roll that again. All right. So 10 plus 5 is 15. You do manage to grab it, so roll your thorn whip damage. And now he has to make a save to be pulled away. Pulled towards you.
2d6.
All right, so you pop him with it, but you don't pull him.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Also on your turn is going to be Feligar. Feligar is going to run. As soon as you do that whip, he's going to run past you and get to there. He's just doom, 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 doom. He's just running. Mcgrunden, it is your turn.
Okay.
It is a target-rich environment.
It
there
sure
any
is. That's why.
resist chance? Is there any? Does he get the chance to try to resist or stake it?
I'll let him know.
So Mcgrunden will start circling Barnabas,
Okay.
and he will unleash his breath attack on Barnabas and our good friend Glendon over here.
I think you can get both of them with that. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan
Right.
of this. All right, so both of them need to make a
dex save.
All right, so this
C14.
is Barnabas is going to fail. So Glendon
And I think doesn't my aura give me a
+1.
Just wanted to save it, right?
Yeah. So
+1 to saving throw? Okay. What is it, Dex?
30, yes.
Okay, so this is a +5.
That's passed. All right, so Glendon will take half, and Barnabas will take the full breath weapon.
14.
Isn't it more than that now?
14 lightning.
It's more than that.
I don't know. You tell me. Don't know.
It was 4 the
You tell
last
me.
time we.
Add another d6. So
it four?
14
All right.
plus 6. Perfect. 20.
20.
Perfect.
Half damage on a successful save.
All right. That's just splendid. All right, Barnabas, you
And-
light Barnabas up. I mean, he's just like you see the lightning just coming out of his shell as he's just frying. You see smoke coming out the bottom of his shell, and then a splinter of that goes and hits Glendon, who takes some of the electrical damage as well. Everyone now, even though we have light, the whole canyon kind of lights up for half a second with this bolt of lightning.
Very, very frightening.
Yeah.
Galileo. All right.
This next thing is going to require a DM ruling
Yeah.
because my Echo will move next.
Yeah.
My Echo is immune to all conditions.
You're right. It is. It is. It is. I will say it is an autonomous thing, so it can move.
The Echo will dive into the muck.
Okay.
And right before he hits, I will bonus action to switch places with the other one.
I'm confused.
You're not.
need an
You're
app.
not controlling yourself though.
That's a good point. Can I swap?
I don't think you can swap. I'm gonna say no to that. 'Cause
Okay,
you
I
have
can't
to actually,
swap. I can't feel him. All right.
Yeah, you can't feel him.
Would he try to
Fair.
restrain you?
No, but I can across and come and I will attack. I will attack the real me. Why do I have advantage? Barnabas there.
Yes, you do.
You're
All right.
flanking yourself.
You
I'm
are
flanking
flanking
myself.
yourself. Yes.
Not in front of the
Yeah.
children.
Go flank yourself. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I have to use a bonus action to do this anyway.
It's
Gotta
still
do
moving.
the,
I will say it's moving over to you though.
Yeah, I can move the echo 30 feet.
Yeah.
But then it's a bonus action. I got to use Manifest Echo to get an attack on him.
So we're not gonna do that. Okay. He just moves.
So don't do the attack.
no, because
I
you
would
got
use
to.
the
Don't you have
bonus
to?
action.
You have to bonus action to get him over there, right?
No. The movement is free.
Just the movement. Just
Yeah,
the
the
movement.
movement's free. Yeah.
See, it's your bonus action. So actually, because it is your bonus action, I will say you control the echo. So yeah, use your bonus action to manifest echo. We'll take that attack. So the 17. What's your bonuses to attack?
It's an armor class 16, and bonus is like a 4 or 5.
All right, that will hit.
Bonus is a 5. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll hit.
So now we see his echo hitting himself, and we're like, what?
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. 6 damage to myself.
Okay. All right, I'm down with that. That's very strange.
I get.
Terribly mysterious.
That is weird. That is a weird interaction with the echo. Okay. So the echo moves over and tries to attack you back. That's very interesting. It's like the echo knows something is wrong. I dig it. I'm down with that. I just had to explain it to myself.
They're circling each other. Dun 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 dun.
All right,
Dun, dun,
and
dun,
with that, Volo is going to run forward and get up behind Mr. Barnabas here. No,
No,
I'm
that's
sorry,
not
Glendon.
Barnabas.
Glendon. He's going to get behind Glendon. I'm sorry.
What's the Don?
He's
The
going to take it.
Glendon.
He's going to take a dodge action. He's just going to take defensive and stay behind him. That's the best he's going to do. All right. Its turn. The Salamander's turn. I need to roll this first. Okay. Okay. This thing is going to turn towards Finn. As it turns,
Come at me.
As it turns, it grabs its pitchfork and it's going to stab at you. Oh, that will not hit you. He will take his tail, will come out of the mud and reach for you and try to tangle you with his tail. You dodge out of the way of that. So both of these attacks, he comes at you, you dodge low, he comes around with the tail, and even though you dodge out of the way, you do feel some of this hot muck coming around you, and you're able to even dodge some of that as you can just feel it smoldering around you. But you manage to get away from all of its those two attacks.
Don't come at me with those tentacles. I've seen anime.
As soon as the tail comes around, the tentacles that are hanging there, they like elongate and like they try to grab at you as well.
Jesus Christ, how many attacks does he have?
A lot. He misses with
No.
that.
He gets tangled up in himself.
All right. So he reaches with that, and he's going to attack you again with the spear.
Trevor's just going to attack until he hits me.
I get 4 attacks, so I miss all of them. So you just like Jackie Chan dodge out of the way of everything, like spear, tail, bite mark, spear. You dodge everything. You're just completely dodging everything. And with that, we go to the top of the round, and it is now Finn's turn.
All right. So,
I wonder if he rolled a 4. I wonder if that's how many actions he can take. Kind of metagame, but
bonus action, Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
Attack time.
Okay. All right. So attack action with the swords. You bring out the fangs.
Actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna Hunter's Mark him
Okay. So just fangs.
because I'm gonna make an attack.
Okay. It will hit.
19.
Yep.
Attempt to stun.
Okay. Constitution saving throw.
15. Con?
Pass.
Hmm?
Pass.
Okay. Damage is 10.
Yes, it is.
Things are horrible.
All right, when you stab through that, you actually go like, all of this is happening so fast. When he brings that second attack, you dodge out of the way. You immediately counterattack with your sword. It cuts under his arm, and you actually feel like the blade like cut through bone as you pull it back. You see that arm kind of like lose like drop immediately. Now you can come across with your second attack. So you're still in your attack action. And we have a crit. All right,
Did
so...
it auto roll something? It, like, I don't know what happened. There was a bunch of other things
All
that
right,
rolled
so
there.
basically you did a d6 damage. Tell you what, let's just... we'll take... Just give me 2d6 for your blade. Just roll 2d6 since they did all this weirdness. But we got a crit. Perfect. So 7, and what's your bonus to hit to damage?
Is it that based off my dex?
Mm-hmm.
3. Unless there's something else I'm not seeing.
All right. You stab it with that one. You run it right into his stomach. So now you haven't used your bonus action yet.
I'm also going to take another attempt to... I think I can take another attempt to stun it.
Okay, so key point stun.
I've used 2 key points right now.
Okay.
So your roll.
No. No, I pass.
Okay. Bonus action, patient defense.
Dodge. All right, so as soon as you pull that last blade out, you go into dodge mode. With that, Finn, it's going to be Barnabas's turn. Mcgrunden, make a wisdom saving throw.
Now's not the time to pass it.
19.
Barnabas looks up and goes, Mcgrunden, hold yourself still. And you just shake it off.
Quiet, you foul beast.
With that, he will also, as soon as you say that, he goes, Severus, heal my wounds. As he will roll for healing. Okay. All right.
If those was the healing word.
Yes. Yes. And now we go to Glendon.
All right. I go down like this way.
Okay.
Over here. I see more now. Is there... Or would I have to go... basically climb up here, then climb down. See what I'm saying?
If you're trying to get to here, you're going to have to go this way. Unless you want to continue to Thorn Whip.
I might do that. I'm going to move down here.
Okay.
Will take me forever to get over there. And I'll Thorn Whip, so +5.
Okay. Roll with advantage on this one because you're behind it.
And I'm flanking.
We'll give it to you. All right, roll your attack.
2d6.
Wow. Well, we can't have a game without me asking Glendon, how do you want to do this? We just can't. We just
Pop
can't.
his head off.
It's like Glendon, everyone does the work, Glendon gets the glory.
It wraps around his neck and pops his head like a pimple.
Yeah, like Reptile from Mortal Kombat 2. It's just like, yeah. What's going on?
Hang on.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Maybe not.
As soon as you let this thing out, you grab it around its neck and you pull, you hear the thing snap, its head actually breaks off as the the magical tentacle kind of goes around his neck and snaps it. You pull the head off into the muck. Its body just kind of like lurches forward. It actually lurches forward towards Finn, who takes a step back as the steaming, muddy carapace of this thing just kind of falls flat in front of you. As soon as that happens, the darkness and the blackness over Mcgrunden's eyes lift, and there's a moment of clarity that Mcgrunden has as you look around, and you look down and you see a Barnabas who's just completely fried from your breath weapon, looking up at you like almost like bracing himself for whatever you're about to do to him. And with that,
oh man,
that was Glendon's turn. Feligar is going to continue running around, and he gets right up. So he runs around. As that body comes down, he takes his axe off and just hits it again for good measure. And with that, we move to Mcgrunden.
Get out of here, you manky ghost!
oh man. I ruined my echo was going to use my +1 net against me. And I was going to try and shove Barnabas into the muck. It was going to be great.
All these foul
Runner
plans.
kind of shakes it off. And my echo echo's a little surprised. And
So what do you want to do?
we're all a little surprised. Are these ones both back into the muck, or are they?
They have submerged into the muck.
All right,
We need to
Mcgrunden will go quickly. Let's get out of here. Nah.
Could we explore the
those
rest
other
or go
ones are
down?
No, those other ones are gonna come off. That shit's gonna wear off sooner or later. Let's go. Let's see what's up this way.
Okay.
Fly down to where these guys are.
All right. Barnabas is going to go down as well. So basically everyone makes their way out of the cavern.
Quickly.
All right. So
Quickly.
everyone takes the light. Y'all move out. Y'all kind of gingerly step over the smoldering body. Is there anything y'all want to do with the body before you leave? Or you're just going to.
I want to look at the body real quick since it's right there next to me. And is there anything on it?
There's nothing on it outside of just you just look at the scales that it has on it.
I do want to grab its spear and just like
You go to grab the spear. It is so hot. You sense the heat on it before you won't burn yourself, but you go to grab it. That thing is smoldering hot.
Can blood, like the ichor coming out of it, is it all steaming and hot as well?
It is, yeah.
So I couldn't like put that in a flask or something.
You could certainly try.
I guess you can say
I'll try to take a
this
Blooded.
thing is
Check it and see.
blooded. Check it and see.
All right, give me a medicine check. I'm going to give you basically like an anatomy check to see if you can pull this off.
pat myself on the butt.
High enough, you'll know that the temperature is 103.
This is going to be medicine is +5, and then I'm going to give myself the D4.
Okay.
Yeah, you give yourself the D4.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, nothing.
You take this,
The
you take a
D4.
little flask. The flask actually melts into the blood and shatters in your hand. You kind of pull yourself back. You don't take any damage, but you're just fast enough to see like, whoa, that's
You roll your medicine check. And you're like, that's blood. He's got blood.
Somebody make
This-
me bleed my own blood.
This snake is dead.
okay. You move down the cavern. It moves. The cavern gets small before opening back up, and it's very interesting. This cavern, as you go through it, it's like 6-7 feet, and you're kind of like going through it kind of slowly, and it kind of intersects into another giant cavern or tunnel that like very similar in size to the one you had before. Like seems to be a system of tunnels, and that this little path that you just took almost seemed like someone dug this as a shortcut to another tunnel. But you get into this larger tunnel, and again, it's going. You can see it sloping down, and at this point, you're back into this like 45 foot diameter, this massive circular tunnel.
The same tunnel that we originally were in, a different one.
Or it could have snaked around in some way too.
Follow it, yeah. Guess who's on point? Finn?
Okay. Finn, you move, you follow this another 50 yards or so before it stops, and it's going down. It kind of levels off, and you see this massive opening. As you move in, you looking around. Something very strange about this massive cavern that you're moving into. As you're moving around, the dirt there seems to be like this algae, this mold growing all around, and you see like mushrooms growing at the bottom. And as you move a little bit closer, you look in the distance and you see these massive mushrooms in the distance. Like you see, basically, you come up. There's like a little bit of a chasm between you, like a giant ditch. On the other side of that ditch, you see these massive, like 6, 8, 10-foot mushrooms that are littered this cavern. So basically, you're opening up into a giant, massive cave. And in front of you, you see, like I said, like there's a large ditch that opens up, and then on the other side of that ditch, it looks like almost like an underground, like subterranean mushroom forest.
Before we go, is the cave walls and ground like dry, or is it like damp?
It's dry.
Okay, it's dirt.
It's dirt. It's earth. Yeah.
Okay.
With mold and algae.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid about toxins moving forward. Because I know like mold and nasty shit. Sorry, stuff.
It's okay.
Does it look like the cave continues past it, or is it just opens up into this big room and that's where we're at?
It goes further than your vision allows.
All right, so this is where we're going. All right, so there's a ditch, and we got to get to the other side to like. Can I get up to the ditch and see if I see any movement on the other side? Sit there and just watch.
You move up to the ditch, you look around. The ditch is probably 15, 20 feet deep and about 40 feet wide.
Is there anything in the ditch moving?
You look down, you don't see anything in the ditch.
Can I see the bottom, or is it like mist or
See
foggy?
the bottom. No, you can see the bottom. It's just earth. It's just a 15, 20 foot ditch.
I'm going to wait for the group to come
Okay.
up.
All right. The rest of the group, y'all enter into this giant subterranean chasm. As you're looking about, you see all the things that I just explained to Finn. You see in the distance. Now with the Barnabas's light kind of illuminating the cavern, you see how massively tall this cavern is. Like the light actually doesn't hit the top. It's that big. You're also seeing in the distance, you see these magnificently huge mushrooms, like you see like purples and greens and different colors of these mushrooms that are off to your left. But between you and that is this massive ditch that you see Finn has moved up into. You're also looking about and you see these patches of mold and smaller mushrooms.
Isn't this your thing, Glendon?
Maybe. But we are in a different world. I can cast communicate with plants. No, or is that communicate with animals? I have speech of beast and leaf.
Can you speak with a mushroom?
I can actually, and I get
He is a fun guy.
I can't understand it back
Do a
though.
timeout. We can't just skip over that.
But
You're a fun guy.
yeah.
No, skip it.
That's good. Keep going.
So basically what I can do, I can communicate with some plants, though not understand. So it's not really have advantage on charisma checks to influence them.
Let's find out if they're
Influence the
carnivorous.
mushrooms.
Do you eat the people?
Be like that. It'll be like that Super Mario
Here's the
movie.
thing, I can't understand them back. So what I can do is I can
It's commune with
Like,
nature, but they
suggest-
speak Spanish, and you're like, I don't know what you're saying.
exactly. Yeah.
Come now, plant. You know I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah. Was there a map?
That is the most useless thing. You can communicate,
Really?
but you can't understand. Mhm.
So basically, what I can do is I can give them suggestions of things to do, and I get advantage on that. Basically, if one was like pouring out spores, I could be like, "Hey, stop that!" You know.
Don't kill us.
Yeah.
He can't tell the mushroom to stop spreading spores, but he can heavily suggest it.
Yeah.
Telling you what to do, Mr. Mushroom.
Yeah.
I think you've had enough.
If you've been spreading your spores for over 4 hours, call a doctor.
Trevor's like, these mushrooms are serious.
Oh,
This is what we can-
Goombas.
Goomba.
So this number 2 thing here is like the chasm.
That's the ditch that you're in front of.
What is 1?
It is more of the molds and mushrooms and things that you're seeing.
Mm.
How far does the ditch
Is
go
that a-
down?
Say again.
How far does that ditch go down, number 2?
The ditch is about 15, 20 feet deep.
And is this 5 foot squares?
Yeah, ish.
So
About 25, 30 feet.
I'm going to ask that they hold the light behind Mcgrunden,
Okay.
and I'm going to jump to his side of the shadow over here.
Okay. Not a
Dig it.
problem. Okay. Sorry, let me give you, just so we're got all of our light. Okay. In the distance, you see another ditch. You also scan. You see the mushroom forest to your left seems kind of contained into this one area to your left. You see the beginning of what looks like the end. On the far side, you kind of peer over. You see some type of wooden bridge crossing over what looks to be another like a ditch. And on the very far end of the coast, you sense there's water or some type of underground lagoon on the very far end of your vision.
Underground legumes.
I have rope on me, so I can use it to help them pull out of the ditch if they climb down into it to try to pull them up the other side.
Grundon can just fly over, right?
That's true.
Correct.
As y'all are talking all that, you just hear this voice going, "Oh, Mighty Sabrus, heal this turtle's wounds."
Your humble
turtle?
turtle servant.
We got to find a way over this. If we go down in there, something horrible's going to happen.
How far can you jump?
While they're talking, I'm going to kind of stealth around here and see.
Give me a stealth check.
Is he basically level with us? Finn on the other side, is it basically level, or is he above us or below?
It's level.
15. Ooh.
Oh, God. Ain't kosher. Tank kosher. I have these cool teleports that you guys have. Or flight.
What stat is perception under?
I have flight and a
wisdom?
teleport.
Is it wisdom?
Perception is wisdom.
Is wisdom. You're good.
Okay.
That's one of those things where the characters, they think they're okay, but the players realize the DM made a roll.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So if we're not in combat or anything right now, while they're trying to figure out what they're doing, I'm going to kind of walk up towards the bridge.
Okay. You walk up to the old rickety bridge. As soon as you do that, you're able to see more of the water chasm. And what you see there's a water area in front of you, and you also see a small island. And on that island, you see a large black obelisk in the middle of the island. Which is, yeah.
What do I see over this way?
Just ground.
Okay.
What about that paint? What about the paint? What can we do with the paint?
we could.
As Finn is looking about, what is Glendon doing?
I'm looking through my stuff to see if there's anything I can possibly do to get over to the other
I'm
side.
gonna drag out the paints and draw a large, wide plank in paint on the ground, so that I can then stick it across.
That you absolutely could do. You paint a bridge. You paint a bridge. Perfect. I love this. All right, so you use the paint to draw like massive planks, and you paint a bridge across the chasm.
A bridge.
Bob Rossing it over
Yeah.
over here. We got some pretty.
Yeah, I'm painting it
pretty
like
mushrooms.
across this way, and then I can swing it out. Kind of.
Right. So you paint it and you just move it all the way across. So
Happy
Last
Thor.
Crusade style, there's a giant like beam across this chasm that has been painted.
Wes, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed by your drawbridge.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Aslo
God.
isn't the dad, but he's got the jokes.
I know.
Right.
Already.
The dad jokes are flying.
Inspiration Laszlo.
Inspiration Laszlo.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
All right.
So now there's a bridge. We have painted a bridge.
Well, I'm gonna say one at a time.
Okay.
Feligar last.
All right. So everyone manages to move on to the other side without a problem.
Excellent.
Now, I don't think they're stealthing.
The entire cave sounds as soon as Feligar gets across, the entire chasm begins to shake and rumble about. The ground beneath you feels like a tremor, like an earthquake. Something is moving.
Oh boy.
Something very large is moving. So very quickly, Mcgrunden, what do you want to do?
I'm going to head towards whatever this bridge is over here.
Okay, move
I'm
your
going to go
token.
this way.
Basically, everyone gets an action. Let me see what y'all are doing. Mcgrunden's moving.
Manifest my echo.
Manifest Echo. Glendon, what are you doing?
What is 5? Are these rocks? What is this?
There are boulders in front of the mushrooms.
Okay. I'll head with Grundon.
Okay. Finn, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go over here, see what this is.
All right, so you move to investigate the rocks, okay? Volo is going to go with you. He's also interested in the rocks. Feligar moves up. He's going to stay with his friend Glendon. Barnabas moves to right here. Okay. Barnabas, he looks around and he's like, something's wrong. Something is amiss. And he reaches over on Finn. He's like, I don't know what's about to happen, but Severus bless you. Severus bless you. He's basically going to cast guidance on you.
Okay. What's an
Somebody
insight
sneeze?
check? Is that when you're checking somebody for what is it?
See, that's like seeing if someone's being truthful. What's their, All right. And we will move this. All right. So, Glendon, you're looking about as well. You're right there with Mcgrunden. After a few seconds, that rumbling happens again, and it seems to be centered behind you. Everyone turns and looks at the ditch behind you as the earth begins to shake and the ditch itself begins to give in, and you see earth falling into the ground itself as this massive like sinkhole happens behind you, and this gigantic. That's not big enough. That's not big enough. Hang on. That's big enough.
Holy smokes.
This giant purplish worm comes busting out of the cavern itself. And as soon as you do that, everyone immediately looks up, and this like adrenaline fear kind of hits all of you. Glendon, you hear this very soft, like chorus of screams that hit you as you look over, and you notice that the mushrooms are terrified. They are so filled with fear that you can hear their screams.
My God. Okay.
As this thing bursts up, everyone roll initiative. So we're going to bring up the tracker. Let me clear it.
That thing is freaking huge.
It is 40 feet wide. And
Wide?
Some
yeah.
We just watched this on Mandalorian.
You know, I already had this set up before Mandalorian, so just so we're all clear.
Yeah, is Boba Fett going to be greeting us here across the bridge? That was...
So it seems to be some kind of purple people eater.
All right, hang on.
20.
Finn.
Got a 20.
All right. Everyone put your numbers in. The same NPCs that are with you before will go. And the giant purple worm will be going on a nat 20.
I'd rather it go on a nat 20 than attack on a nat 20.
True.
Okay. All right. It bursts up. It looks down immediately at Feligar, who's standing ready with its axe. It opens its giant mouth and goes to attack it.
Purple worm asks, "Where's the beef?"
Right there. Heck yeah.
Okay. He has to make a dexterity saving throw.
So he has. What does he have? Since I'm here. Is that again? Is it a +1?
Oh, thank God. Because that's the exact number that he needed to make the save. Because he gets a +2. So he needed a 19.
Nice.
Okay, so he takes a step back. As soon as the mouth comes back, Glendon, you see the spectral hands of Myliki grab Feligar and slightly move him back as your aura kind of helps him move back slightly as this giant mouth goes and just rakes across the front of his body, but he is not swallowed by the beast because of your aura. It saved him. So he will take a lot of damage. All right, so Feligar takes 24. It then brings its tail about, and you see this giant, like, massive spike off the end of its tail, and it's going to charge towards Glendon. Let me just pull this over here. Okay. And it's going to attack Glendon. Does a 19 hit? You bring up your shield as the weight of this massive, your magical shield blocks against this massive tail. It basically ricochets off of it, but you feel the massive force of this as you actually take 2 steps backwards from just the weight of this tail pushing up against your shield. And with that, it is Glendon's turn. It is also Feligar's turn. So Glendon, you go first.
Right. Does it when we were feeling it moving, did it feel like it was moving under us, or did we feel like it was moving in this ditch?
In the ditch.
See what I'm saying? I'm thinking maybe it's confined to this ditch. Maybe we can just run. No.
It seems to be tunneling.
I'll just throw that out there. Oh, it was tunneling?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I'll hack at it.
Okay.
Take a couple swings.
All right, swing. Swing at the monstrosity. All right, so you do actually have advantage because you're with Feligar. I'll give that to you. But the
21.
you get +9 to attack because you're magic.
+7.
+7. So it's a 12 is
Oh,
what
no,
you.
it's 12 +2. I'm sorry.
All right.
So it's a 12 +7 is 19.
You do manage to pierce through the scale of this massive thing. Yeah. So it's got this massive like chitin armor. You manage to get right between it. Roll damage. You do actually land it.
I'm gonna smite to a level 2.
There you go.
I'm not sure what's that 4d8.
So it's a D8 for yes. If you do level 2, you get an additional 3D. So 4D8 plus your damage. So
48 +4. All right.
that is pretty good. So 24 plus 4 is 28 damage. With the unicorn comes out and you slam the sword into it. You see the spectral horn of the unicorn dig into it as well. It actually rears back. Its giant mouth looks at you and just kind of opens and roars as you've stabbed it. Stab it again.
I thought that was I rolled both.
That's fine. Yeah, you did. Well, no, so you get advantage. So that the 12 and the 2. So now roll another attack for 2.
Oh, I got you.
And then roll one more. Just in case. All right, so the 11 plus, you get a +7?
18.
18. 18 will hit. So again, you've seen that same spot. You go back, you hit the exact same spot again. Do you wish to smite?
Yeah. I want to put this thing down. This thing looks awful. Well, sure, I'm not going to put it down, but I can do some damage. All right. So 48. Can't even see what
17 plus 4, another 21 damage. So that's 49 total damage. That's a lot of front load paladin damage. Good job. All right, so you hit it, you roar back, you hit it again. Is there anything you want to do with your bonus action? I don't know if you have anything for bonus action.
Invisible. Yeah.
And invisible. The patented Glendon maneuver.
Somewhere around these parts.
And you sidestep. I love that maneuver so much. That's fantastic. Hit it, smite, invisible, move. Oh,
I'll go this way to get closer, to get my aura closer to these guys.
Awesome. Oh yeah, be mindful of your aura. Yeah, there you go. And you just kind of run around. Perfect. Okay. All right. With that, it is now Feligar's turn. Feligar would like to rage, and Feligar is going to attack. He will also. He will no longer get advantage, so he'll just get an attack. And he'll miss. He's just going to have to stand his ground. Let me see. Hold up 1 second. Let me see. Oh, he does have that. All right. So he swings. He misses. He immediately takes a step back and he goes, Miliki, protect me. And you see this green bubble fall over as this sanctuary falls over Feligar.
Nice.
Actually, I can't do that in rage, so I won't rage. I'm just going to attack in sanctuary. That's the smart thing to do, is to not rage. So he swings and then pulls into sanctuary. Okay, now we go to Finn's turn.
Okay. So I'm over here, and I've still got the paints.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run this way and bamf here.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the paint, and this thing is obviously up there. It doesn't see me because I'm just kind of like, and
Yeah,
I'm
you
there.
bamfed. Right, I got you.
And I'm going to take the paint, and I'm going to start drawing a really nasty wound on the part that's not moving.
I see. So you basically just like a hole in his carapace, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You basically...
And I'm being careful, taking my time, like trying to...
All right. So you bamf, and you take it, and you basically like do like a couple quick brushes like this, and you create a hole in its carapace, a weak spot, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to be so. Your
That's my
turn is
turn.
bonus action, and you have painted a weak spot on the backside of this.
Yeah.
So that he'll lose his natural armor.
And for the
bonus.
sake of it, just for the sake of it, I'm out of paint. Just let's be
now.
done with this.
For now, you might use it later.
One of your buckets. You had 2 buckets,
You had
right?
2 buckets. Yeah, it's fine. You paint it and you drop it. Pull swords. You're good.
I'm Wily Coyote. Let's go.
All right, you have created a weak point in the worm. Freaking love the paint. All right, now on your turn, it
Paint's
is also
awesome.
Barnabas's turn, and Barnabas, he's gonna have to let go of the concentration, so you're no longer gonna have guidance, Wes. Finn.
It's fine.
He's going to. He sees what that is. He pulls his staff together and he goes, "Severus, I summon all the different versions of myself through all the lines of time. Bring forth the army of Barnabas." And with that, you see about 15 or 20 versions of himself all start charging the field to attack the worm as his spectral guardians run forward.
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay.
His spectral
So that's one of
guardians
those where-
are himself.
As long as it
Barn
starts the turn around them, they just like keep doing damage or something.
Right. Okay.
Did you hear that, Trevor?
What?
Attack of the Barnaby. That's what's going on.
Barnaby.
Barnaby. So remind me on Spectral Guardians,
Barnabases?
does the damage happen now or on its next turn?
I think it happens on the turn of the creature. I think I'll look it up.
It's fine.
It does happen at the start of their turn, and I think maybe when it enters.
Okay. So on its turn, it will take the damage. It's fine. Okay. As you see, like 15 or 20 other versions of Barnabas, they all look a little different from different timelines. Some of them are like more warrior-esque. Some of them look like monks. Some of them look like they're younger. Some of them are older with big beards. But you see all these different versions of Barnabas with different types of weapons, all attacking the worm.
It's Spirit
Some of them
Guardians, right?
One of them's got like a northern
Yeah.
accent. Hey, I'm walking in.
Walking in.
All right. And with that, we will go to Mcgrunden and Volo.
So they're based off of wherever he's at. They're
Right.
15 feet around him.
Right.
The creature's speed is halved. The first time on a turn it starts its turn there, it must make a wisdom saving throw on a failed save. Take 3d8 radiant.
That's it.
Or 3d8 necrotic if he's evil.
Yep.
You'll find out.
Okay.
We'll find out if Barnabas is evil.
Yeah, if it's necrotic damage, we're like,
All right, so my echo and my echo moves close, and I start and I take flight to kind
Okay.
of flank from
Oh.
above.
Barnabas also has to, at the time of casting, see. Basically, he has to think about who is unaffected by it. Which
So
I'm assuming.
Everyone is unaffected except for the
Right.
giant purple worm. All right. Next.
I will begin my attack.
Yes.
Do I have advantage?
Yes, you do, because Barnabas is on the other side. So is y'all are surrounded. Everyone's gonna get advantage at this point.
Attack number 1. 15.
Total? Is that total?
That is total. Well, I have a +5 to hit as
I
well.
understand. You miss. You stab against the carapace.
Attack number 2 is a natural 20.
That will hit. And it
right.
is a vicious weapon.
Ah, yes. Thank you for the reminder. I'll roll my 2d10. I will re-roll the 2.
So we have an 8 and a 2.
Another 2. 12 plus 7, 19 damage
Okay.
on that one.
All right.
And then my bonus action to hit with the back of it.
Okay. That will
14.
miss. That will miss.
I will expend a use of Unleash Incarnation to have my Echo attack it.
Yes, you will.
23.
That will hit.
Healing, I will re-roll the 2. Only 12 damage.
Nice. There you go.
Then, taking a note from Danny, I will Action Surge,
Yes.
strike again.
Another
Another
natural
natty.
20. Another natty.
17 damage.
It's vicious.
Plus 2 plus 7.
It's vicious.
8 plus 2 plus... Oh, I'm plus the 4. I forget. I'm like thinking it's advantage. 12, 14, 21 damage on that one.
All right.
And that will complete my turn.
Action Surge gets you 2 attacks.
Oh, does it? Still get the full attack
you
action.
You get to take another attack action. So attack again.
I'm thinking haste.
It's
I'm
not
thinking haste.
So attack again.
Wes. And I miss.
That'll miss. Okay. All right. So you're just like spinning, whack, whack. You're cutting into it. Now those 2 critical strikes, you manage to stab it. You see it's blood. This it's like this red ooze that comes out the side of it as you pull it back. It's like nasty as it kind of bubbles out of him and drops. But you keep cutting it, and you can definitely see from above where you're stabbing it that this thing is moving about. You also notice the more that you're attacking it, that last time you see that tail pull back, and you see these small little spikes coming off the edge of that tail, and you have the know-of-all to know that this thing is carrying some type of poison.
Oh. Poopy.
But I always try to give you a little, because your intelligence is so high, you're just always like aware. Like I try to do that some, right? It's part of your character. All right. So with that, also on your turn is Volo.
Don't worry about the rocks, Volo. You keep looking at those rocks.
No, he is
Don't worry about the
going.
snake.
He is. He starts speaking in this strange tongue, and he reaches out, and he's trying to. He reaches out into the mind of this beast, and you see him like swirling back and forth, and then he goes, there you are, and he grabs at it like this to try to like grab onto its mind. It has to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Oh, this thing seems pretty wise.
It passed it, so it shakes off whatever it is Volo is trying to do. What it also he does is he reaches over and he sees what Barnabas is doing, and Barnabas goes, "I'm so glad to see so many of you. You're inspiring me." And with that, Barnabas is actually going to be inspired using the Bardic Inspiration of Volo. So that way, if I have to make a concentration check, I can. All right. And with that, we're going to go to the top of the round, and it is going to be the worm's turn. Now, the first thing it has to do is it has to make a Wisdom saving throw on the army of Barnaby. It fails. So he'll take 3d8 points of radiant damage from the mini Barnabases, and he takes 9
Oh, he's not evil.
Oh,
he's
it's
not
not
evil.
necrotic.
He's not a necrotic. That would be the surprise. I'm a death knight. No, but he all of the different tortoises come out, and there's like stabbing and poking and prodding at this thing, drawing some blood. It's
Tortai?
shaking. Yes, multiple tortai. And now with that, it is the worm's turn itself. It's looking around. It takes that tail, and it's going to shoot it up towards Mcgrunden that you were looking at. 21 to
Do I
hit.
get an attack of opportunity? I'm just kidding. You said 21?
I'm going to say yes.
This is the tail coming up, right?
Yeah, I will say you do get an attack of opportunity. It's still going to get the attack off, but I'll give it to you.
Oh, sure. 16.
16 will be a no. Okay, so you stab at it. It stabs you right back. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, my favorite.
Is he near me?
No, I'm too high in the sky. That is an 18.
Wow.
I have quite the constitution.
That is quite the Constitution save. All right, so you're going to take from the tail itself a mighty
Correct.
15 damage. And then from the poison,
He didn't resist it.
take another 23 damage.
Jeez.
I failed my save.
Yeah, you failed.
Ah. 23 damage from the poison. The condition as well, or is it just full?
Let me see. No, it's just like acidic. It just tears at you. There is you don't have a poison.
Oh, it hurts.
Yeah, it just burns.
It hurts.
Okay, how you feeling there with all that damage?
It burninated me a little bit.
It burninated.
Not feeling great.
Not feeling great. All right.
Feeling great. Yeah.
With its
probably around a third of my life.
All right, he's going to attempt to attack. Let's see. Glendon's invisible. Barnabas is off to the side. He's going to try to go for Feligar again and try to eat the bubble. So he's got to do is make a wisdom saving throw to see if he beats past the sanctuary, which he does. And now he is going to attack Barnabas.
Barnabas or Feligar?
I'm sorry, Feligar. I apologize. So he got past the sanctuary. He rolls to attack. He gets a 3, which is going to be 12, which I don't think is enough to hit him.
If 12 is enough to hit him, he doesn't need to be rolling with us.
Barbarians don't wear a lot of armor, but he does manage to jump out of the way. So that giant, like it hesitates for a second to get through the sanctuary, and that's just enough time for Feligar to step back out of the way as this giant mouth just goes and buries into the ground and basically just devours part of the earth that he used to be standing in. So there's just like this giant divot where he used to be, and with that we go to Glendon.
Right. Right. We're gonna, I guess, swing.
Okay.
Where's Finn at?
Behind it.
See him on my.
That's where else would Finn be?
Well, he's inside of it?
No, he's behind it. You actually don't see him. He's on the other side of the worm.
Okay, I just don't see his icon. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess I'll mosey on over here in my invisibility.
Got it.
And swing twice.
Okay, go for it.
So here's the first one.
19 will hit, or whatever your bonus is. Yeah, so one will hit.
Then I'll just go ahead and do the other, see if I hit.
Yeah, so both will hit.
All right. Well, we're just gonna do regular. I don't even know what else we have here. This is 2 D8 plus 4. That sounds so weak. All right.
So 10.
And
okay.
Roll. 11. So 21.
All right, you attack at it twice. Anything you want to do with your bonus action? You're able to. You've gotten used to where you have to hit between the side of the carapace. You're just stabbing into it, drawing blood. Anything you want to do on your bonus action, or are you done?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Also on Glendon's turn is Feligar. Now Feligar will rage and he will attack this mighty beast. He will have advantage on this attack. Sorry. He misses. Feligar is just missing. All right. So he swings twice. He misses. And with that, we will move to Finn.
Me.
Yep.
All right. Bonus action, Hunter's Mark.
He is marked.
And then I'm going to take my time and concentrate and try to stab this thing right in the old...
Gotcha. Okay. In the hole that was made with the paints. I gotcha. So roll with advantage, and his AC is dramatically lower.
First attack. 24.
That'll hit.
All right, so it's a D6.
Is the damage already there? Right.
Well, I'm also advantaged, so I have sneak attack and Hunter's Mark.
Okay, so roll another 2d6. Or what's sneak attack for you? 2d6?
It's 1d6, and then Hunter's Mark is 1d6, so it's 2d6.
Gotcha.
So 6 plus 5 and 5.
Okay.
So 16.
Nice.
And then
keep going. Pile it on. Attack
again. Let's try to stun him.
Sure.
Why not? I've stunned the dragon.
What's my DC?
15. Con.
He is stunned. It is. Now, you opened the hole in the back. You rammed that sword in. as soon as you stab it, you don't know the anatomy of a purple worm, but whatever you hit must have been vital to it, because as soon as you stab it, it just starts screaming in pain as you twist it and pull it back. You have successfully stunned a purple worm. That is amazing. All right.
Snakes don't really have paws.
All right, next.
All right, we're tagging it again.
Okay. With advantage. So everyone now has advantage for the rest of until it gets back to his turn. Yes. That hits.
And this is just 1d6 because it's not.
Okay, so just 6 damage? Or
Well, I'm not. Do you get it every time you're advantaged? How does sneak attack?
it's only once per round.
Okay.
All right, so 4 plus 2 is 6. Is that right?
And 1. That was my hunter's mark damage.
Oh, okay. So 147, 150. Okay, got it. All right. So you stab it as it pulls up. You take that moment to stab it again. I'm assuming you're done on your turn.
Yeah.
All right. Also on your turn is Barnabas. Barnabas takes this moment as it's stunned and it has advantage. He's going to let loose another guiding bolt with advantage.
Nice.
I think that's. Hold up. That is a miss. He missed. Okay. And with that, we go.
He hit the broadside of a barn.
No, I know. As soon as it jerked its head back, he missed. It's like, that's where I was aiming. All right. And with that, we go to Mcgrunden.
All right. I will swing, and use my bonus attack to hit with the back.
Okay.
And I will use the final use of my Unleash Incarnation to attack with the Echo.
Go for it.
Here's me. 15.
Miss.
A
Miss.
teen. Butt end.
Butt end hits.
Or 22.
That'll hit.
I think the back is a D6. I will re-roll the 1. And get a 1. 3 damage.
Okay.
And my Echo. 19.
Hit.
And 6 more damage. A light wounding. A light wounding.
A light wounding, a peppering, if you will. All right, so you
Peppering
continue.
of wounds.
You miss. You're having a hard time. You're still getting used to the flying aspect and the fact that you're attacking with the glaive from above, but you keep hitting the carapace. But after that second attack, you pull it back and you jam it right in between. So now you kind of see where you're supposed to be hitting it. And with that, your Echo kind of takes cue and stabs in between the plates of the giant worm, and he stabs it as well. Also on your turn is Volo. Volo is seizing the moment, sees what's going on. He's going to reach out and see if he can grab the mind of this thing again. It will make a save. It will fail. Finally.
So now it is stunned and whatever this is.
Are all the Barnaby still here?
Oh, there are so many Barnaby.
Okay.
All right, it's going to take 11 psychic damage.
I knew he was Professor Xavier.
That's it. All right, and with that, you know what? I
Barnaby
just
go?
realized I messed up the turn order. It should be that. Yeah, I've been messing up the turn. It doesn't really matter. Everyone goes and then it goes. All right. And now it's its turn. It misses its turn because it's stunned, and we go back to Glendon. Golf claps.
All right,
Golf
sweet.
clap Finn.
Swing.
He's stunned.
All right, so here's the first one. Can't even see what I rolled.
Miss.
10 plus a 17.
Miss.
And then
18 is the number. That'll hit.
that one hit. All right. All right, so this is a D8 plus
4.
Should I just burn a smite? 8 plus 4.
Your call.
We'll save it.
We're piling the damage on this guy.
All right. You stab it again. Anything else?
Nah.
Okay. Feligar's turn. He is going to attack it. He has got advantage. He will... I think that's a hard miss for him. Let me see. What's his bonus? Nope, that's a miss. And then he'll roll his bonus action attack with his ability, and that will hit. He will finally land the attack. And he'll deal 9 plus 5 plus another d6 radiant damage because he is a zealot. So 9, 10, 14 damage. Okay. All right, so he cuts into it as well. All right. Now, it is Mcgrunden's turn.
I will take the attack action and swing twice.
Swing, swing.
Swing. 21.
21 will hit.
And a 24.
And both will hit.
Ooh.
For 12 and 10 damage. 22.
22 damage, all right. All right, you're carving blood. There's this thing is bleeding out of every possible way. But almost between every plate, y'all have cut, and it's just bleeding
That's
all
right.
over the place. Keep going. Bottom.
I will heal. I will heal 13 from second wind.
Nice. Very good. All right, and...
My turn shall end.
And your turn shall end. And also on your turn is Volo.
Mr. Volo.
Mr. Volo. Let's go for it. We'll do it again. See if he can get a psychic attack off. He does. He manages to reach into the mind of the giant worm and wreck it for another 12 points of damage. Okay. And with that, we go to Finn.
All right, so this is just for advantage, but I'm going to make it not look stupid because it's kind of dumb mechanically. But I'm going to Shadow Step just to get advantage again.
Mm-hmm.
Or unless I already have advantage.
You already have advantage.
Okay, so I have advantage. So I don't have to waste my bonus action.
No.
All right, so I'm going to attack.
Yep.
19.
That'll hit.
So 9 plus 2d6.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So that's 12 on the first attack.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to stun it again. Let's try to just wreck this guy's day.
All right.
Yeah.
Nope.
Pass.
Did not stun him that
Did
time.
not stun it.
Let's attack him again. (21) plus or 7 plus 1, 8.
Okay.
Bonus action, attack again.
Okay.
I might have clicked the wrong one. Let me see. That's the offhand. That's right. 17.
Hit. Normally wouldn't, but you're
Uh,
hitting the weak spot.
Right. So that's 2 plus 1, 3.
Okay. All
So
right.
I'm hacking into it down here.
All right. Hack, 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 hack. All right. On its turn, it will
Wait. What about the Barnaby?
it'll take. I've got to make the save for Barnabas. I fail.
Okay.
I'll take a bunch of damage. All right, that's not right.
3d8.
Okay.
13.
The Barnabases crawl up over and just start overwhelming it as you see all this army of Barnabases just getting between the carapaces and stabbing it. It starts like hemorrhaging blood all over the place, and in its dying breath, it's going to take another bite at Feligar and another stab at Mcgrunden. Because all this happens at the same time. So his attack on Feligar will miss, and his stab at 17 to hit.
Is he near
It's
me?
17 hits. 17
Is he
hits.
in my aura? I can't see.
I'm
no.
up in the air.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
I'm above it. I'm right above it.
All right. So
Is Bruce Campbell here? Army of Barnabas?
Army of Barnabas. All right.
Too far of a stretch.
24 damage from the tail.
Oh, it's a good thing I used second wind.
Make a
I
save.
will take
for
that 24
poison.
damage.
If you fail to save, you are not
maybe,
going to be upright.
I'm gonna be happy. That's gonna be a 15.
That's a fail. All right, here it comes.
It's a failed save. Yeah,
Oh,
he's rolling hotter. Oh,
All
I'm
right.
fine.
43 damage.
All right. I
Call it a
fall out of the air. 'Cause I had 12 hit points left when I took that 43.
Is that massive damage for you?
I don't think so. I already am at failure and success. I have 69 max.
So it's not max. All right. So all right.
It's got to be what, 35 then? It's got to be.
I will say this though. It's so the poison stabs you. Wait, say it again.
How much is massive damage? How does massive damage work?
half?
I'm gonna say here's the
It
problem.
might be.
I think it is. I think you're dead.
I think it is because it's because I have 69 max, and that's one attack, right?
Yeah.
What was the first damage? 50.
Yeah, I think you're toast.
24 plus 43, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're. That's it.
Oh, so that's 67. So it's not my max.
How far in the air are you? Because you're falling.
That's another attack, right?
All right.
How tall is it?
right,
It's
so-
40 feet wide, right?
Right. All right. So here's what's going to happen. It stabs you. The poison just rips inside of you. You fall to the ground as that poison is bleeding out. So you hit the dirt. You're unconscious. You're completely gone. Your echo pops immediately as you lose the concentration. That's not even concentration, but it's just gone. You
It just
hit
pops,
your
yeah.
lifeless body hits the ground as this giant beast starts to move about. It's got to fall in one direction. So we're going to roll a d4 and see if it's going to fall. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4 in this direction. So let's roll a d4 and see which way it goes.
Well,
It's gonna go towards Feligar.
Dex save.
Dex save for Feligar.
He gets a +1. Oh,
It's gonna fall on Feligar. And Feligar is gonna take some damage as the massive carapace crushes Feligar. Fortunately, he was so angry at this situation.
bad, yeah.
He's like, it does hit him. It just kind of knocks him off to the side. It doesn't land like hard on him, but it does like knock him off to the side as the giant worm falls onto the ground. And the entire cavern shakes as this massive worm hits the ground. So it drops at the same time as Mcgrunden drops to the ground. With that, we go to Glendon.
let me see here. I'm seeing what I can do here. Is he totally like dead? Like
You
Is he
just see
unconscious?
his what, you talking
Mcgrunden?
about the Mcgrunden or the worm.
Mcgrunden.
You just see his body laying on the ground from where you are.
And I'll go over and like see what's going on.
All right, so you do a quick medicine check, and you look over his body. You see that he is barely alive,
Okay, so he's not quite all the way dead.
mostly dead. There's a difference between mostly dead and all dead.
Because I think it's homebrew at this point because I don't know that massive damage is a thing in 5e. So
I'm not sure. He's not all
I don't know
dead.
if it's half. I don't know if it's half or all hit points or what.
I don't think you're
know.
all
So if
dead. You're not all dead.
If I do like my entire lay on hands pool, which is 35,
He'll be at 35.
That-
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah.
All right, so you call down the power of Myliki, and you just basically like resuscitate him right there. This green energy goes all the way through him. It expels all of the poison out of his body that was like ripping all of his internal organs, and you see this breath of life as he comes back up. You see his mouth like starts to shake with that electricity from his breath weapon as life comes back into him. He was on the verge of death, but he was not dead. He was just at that point where he was walking towards the tunnel, but you pulled him back. You were like, hang on, clear, and you like resuscitate him, and you bring Mcgrunden back. Now as you're doing that, Finn, you're looking over at this giant beast that you see the ichor of it, kind of the blood coming off of it, and as you look about, you see the blood is just like permeating the floor, like it's just oozing all over the floor. And you notice that as you're looking about, as blood is going into this tunnel, you look down at the bottom and you see that the tunnel itself seems to be radiating some type of energy behind you. And as you look, as the blood of this beast is filling the chasm behind you, you see a shake, and the water in the far end of the chasm starts to churn.
Like down where one is here?
No, here.
Oh. I'm in a hole. I can't really see that.
At this point I'm saying you're climbing up.
Oh, okay. So like I'm right here.
Yeah, you're climbing up. You're kind of looking about. You see like all this blood. You're kind of like looking as the blood. There seems to be a correlation between the blood filling this sacrificial pit that has been dug and the fact that now something is awakening in the water in the distance.
Oh, come on.
Stop killing these things I keep throwing at you. What are you guys doing?
So I'm gonna kind of bamf over here.
Okay.
And try to get up to the water and put my hand in the water and just see if I can.
You bamf. As soon as you bamf to the water, you look and you see this giant hand coming out of the water, and like wrapping around the side of the obelisk and using it to pull itself up out of the water.
Holy shit!
If you've ever read Lovecraft, you'll know that this ain't kosher.
I haven't, but I kind of feel like it's not kosher anyway.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay. And it will be going on initiative. Perfect. So we're just going to kill that one. And we're just going to add its turn and put him right back up there.
What initiative count are we on right now?
So we're just going to stay in the same order. And Finn just moved up. So now it's the top of the round. This thing just grabbed the side of it. It comes moving up out of the water. And now as it looks about the cavern, it starts like letting loose this guttural language. Finn, you see this. You look up. Make a save versus fear.
What is that?
It's a wisdom saving throw.
14.
As this thing comes crawling up, your mind immediately like jets back at the time that you were training in the temple to fight these krakens, these leviathans, and you find a calm space in your temple to conquer the fear of this thing. And deep down in your gut, you know that this thing will not. You may not win today, but you're not going to lose to fear. And that you're conquering that, so you will not be afraid of this thing. For the rest of the encounter, you will not be afraid of this thing.
Fear is the mind killer.
Exactly. All right. With that, it will take.
With me moving up there, I'm assuming that you know that I'm trying to do it all sneakily, like I'm like.
Of course you are. That's why I'm going to say
Okay.
retro that you would have rolled stealth.
Yeah, you want me to roll it now?
Sure. It's not going to see you. It doesn't know you're there. It just reaches out and from the water, it's going to reach out and he sees. Well, let's see if he's got the light here. This thing is gone. He's going to reach out to Volo. And Volo's going to have to make a wisdom saving throw. Which he may pass. Holy cow. He does. He passes. And with that, he begins gutter like releasing this language into the air that everyone else outside of him, everyone needs to make a save versus fear.
Will save?
This is a wisdom save. Everyone make a wisdom saving throw, right?
Do I need to make one?
Not you.
Okay.
Not Finn. All right, so this is another
18?
save for Volo. Volo passes it.
This is +7.
Yes.
Yes.
You pass.
I got an 18.
Mcgrunden passes. Feligar.
Feligar is close enough to Danny. I think he gets the bonus.
Feligar passes. Barnabas. Man, these rolls. Barnabas passes. Everybody passes the
We
save
fought
versus.
dragons. Come on.
Yeah, so this mass fear that it's just like permeating the entire chamber, everyone just stands firm and just stands together. So y'all fought dragons, you fought this giant worm. It's just a bigger thing.
Are the gaggle of Barnaby gone now?
No, they're still around. He's still concentrating on that.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, we move to Glendon's turn.
Oh my god. Okay.
This is my jam, right? Like, this guy is like...
This is straight up your jam.
Okay.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Remember, Wes, you have that potion of haste.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just looking.
It's time to head for the mountains. Crack open a cold one. Jolt cola time.
Jolt cola. You know what? Can't type. Sorry. Looking
All right.
up a certain.
All right, if you want to do that, at this point, it's time to just do it.
Okay.
I mean, this
It's
is
a rainbow.
It is the time. If you want to do
Right.
that, it is time to do that.
Right. Let's do it.
Okay. So what does it look like as you're doing this, and what does it sound like as you're doing this?
Just gonna like stick my sword in the ground and say, my leaky, give us something to repel this.
But what exactly? There's a component I'm looking for here. You're gonna have to.
Leaky, I wish for a tsunami.
There you go. All right, and with that, the blade releases the power of wish and casts tsunami. I don't know exactly what tsunami does, but I want to look it up. So, what does tsunami do? It's been a minute since I've had someone cast it. Was that 8th level spell? 7th level spell?
So a wall 300 feet long, 300 feet high, 50 feet thick. Basically, it has to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. Got it. Or?
What the saving throw would be. I'm not a caster.
I've got that. I'll take care of that. So read the entire spell to me.
Okay. On a failed save, a creature takes 6d10 bludgeoning damage, half as much on a successful. At the start of each of your turns after the wall appears, the wall, along with any creatures in it, moves 50 feet away from you. Any huge or smaller creature inside the wall, or whose space enters the wall when it moves, must succeed on a strength saving throw or take 5d10 damage. Bludgeoning.
So this stays around.
Yeah, as long as it's 1 minute. Can concentrate.
We're gonna pause. I want. Let me look up tsunami. Now,
Idea what stats would be.
Danny has been sitting on this for quite some time.
Is this?
You had a wish spell?
So, and because of the force of the wave, the creature must make a successful strength check against your spell save DC in order to move at all.
It's concentration up to 6 rounds. So this giant wave of water can just keep hitting it for 6 turns. Okay. So it pulls up. Now it has to make a strength saving throw. So where exactly do you want this water to come from?
I guess right in front of it to bash
So
it backwards.
here, and then push it
Really
backwards.
see.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let me make my strength saving throw.
Take some 6d10.
Take
Yes.
6d10 as this giant wall of water just comes out of the ocean or out of this
Here's
pool
5.
and pushes against it.
5 of them.
That is.
Then one more. All right.
21.
And this, all right, let me see. Wall moves 50 feet away from you.
Okay,
Any
so it
creature in
smashes
it.
it smashes it up against the by. Okay, he doesn't have 50 feet to go. So this giant wall of water pushes him up against it. I guess what will happen is as this water goes, it pushes, it just splashes, and then it begins to raise up again. Because it just keeps coming back. All right, so that's your turn. So you're holding up the blade as the power of the blade is controlling this this massive tsunami that just smashes this giant monster to the back of the cave. And with that, hold up, let's make sure.
Basically, on every single one of my turns, it happens again.
Right. Okay.
It looks like.
Really, I hope Barnabas knows to protect you so that this can keep going.
Right. Impressive. I was wondering what he was going to use it for.
The only thing I could think of with it being in the water like
That's
that.
great. That's great. Okay. All right. So you push this giant thing back into the water, back into the back of the rock. This giant wave comes up. It crashes. The water recedes. It begins to coalesce and raise up again, like this giant fountain in the back as this massive tsunami is pushing this thing back. On your turn, we also see Feligar. I don't know what Feligar can do at this point because this thing has been pushed back, but he's going to get closer. Oh, I know exactly what he's going to do. As he's running, he's going to reach up and ask for Myliki to heal him, and he's going to use a first level spell to heal himself. Because
Just felt like running.
all right. Okay. So he heals himself a little bit, and he starts moving towards Finn. Now it's Mcgrunden's turn. So you just got... What? Where'd he go?
He's right here. He's still here.
He needed a pillow. All right. So now you're moving. You have been resuscitated. You see this. You're standing. You see this giant, this monster in front of you get pushed back by this giant wave. You look over. You see Glendon standing next to you, holding up like his shield in one hand, his sword in the other, controlling this giant wave. What are you gonna do?
I crawl to my feet. I use my bonus action to manifest my echo again. Mm-hmm. We're just going to kind of hold the line for now, trying to catch my breath and preparing for it to move in on us.
As you go to catch your breath, you realize that your breath weapon is back.
I feel like a new man.
You do.
Born again.
Did my hunter's mark get to move to this, or did it go away?
It went away. Actually, I'll let you move it to not burn the spell. I'll let you move it. I'm loosey goosey on that. I'm fine with that. So that's it. So you're just getting to your feet, and what are you doing, Mcgrunden?
I'm just getting ready.
Okay.
ready for it to move in on us. Try to protect Barnabas and Glendon for now.
Okay. Volo is going to run up here, and he's going to call out to Finn and say, Mighty Triton, now is your time. You are inspired. That whatever you're going to do, this is your moment. And then he's going to dive into this. This is basically like a ditch. He's going to go and dive into the ditch.
Wes, you may now drink your potion of haste with advantage.
Right.
Is it my time?
It is. It is. It is your time.
All right. Action 1. Drink haste potion. I'm
That-
guessing that's an action.
But
With advantage.
you get that's the inspiration gives him the D6. So you drink that, but it gives you another action on this
Right.
turn. Right. So
Right.
yeah. Okay,
So
you are now hasted.
bonus action.
Okay.
I'm going to step to his shadow on the island behind him.
Got it.
And I am going to
So
have
at
sneak
this-
attack.
just so you understand, at this point, he's not. The island would actually be in front of him because the wave of water pushed him up against the rock.
I don't think it has yet. Oh, wait, maybe it did.
Yeah, it did. So he's basically up against the wall at this point. But you have to think differently because he's in water and you don't give a crap about water. Like,
Yeah. I'm just trying to get to where he's not looking.
you can easily dive down below him and stab him from below.
I'm trying to take out one of its legs.
Go for his leg. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
massive. Yeah.
So
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
it's 2 attacks plus Hunter's Mark and sneak attack.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. $22.
That'll hit.
Okay, so that's 8 plus 2d6.
Okay. 16?
16.
Very good.
Okay. Second attack.
It's going to take a while. All right, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Hit. So another 6.
Plus a d6. 10.
Okay.
So 26.
You stab into the side of this leg. It is thick, and even though you know you're cutting it, you don't even see blood coming out of it, but you are cutting it. You're doing something to it, but you just realize this thing is thicker than the last thing you just fought.
So how is he? Okay, is he standing on the bottom?
The water at this point, yeah, he's basically got a couple of one of his feet are like hanging on the wall on the side on the floor, but his foot is huge.
Right. So I'm just trying not to be in the tsunami.
You're under the water. The tsunami
Right.
is basically on the other side. You basically you shadow step down. You attack it a couple of times, and that's it.
For flavor, I would like to use the tsunami as like parts to swim up and into and to stab him and shit
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely. Yeah, you can surf it. You're not a
I
problem.
like
Yeah.
it. I like it.
And I didn't need to use any of the inspiration yet, did I?
No.
Okay.
You were still inspired. All right, and with that, Barnabas is going to move up. He's going to run, and the army of Barnabases are going to get to the ditch. He's going to the army of Barnabases are running with him. He jumps into the ditch. All of the other Barnabases also jump into the ditch as well. They all take. It's almost like a World War II, like go get in the ditch, forward position. He looks up. He grabs his staff, and he's going to try to shoot a guiding bolt over into the light and try to see if he can hit him.
Please tell me while he's running, they're all going. Hut, 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 hut.
That will miss.
Protect Glendon.
All right. So that is Barnabas's turn, and now we go to its turn. All right. Is there anything that has to do on its turn with the tsunami?
Let's see. At the start of each of your turn,
It's Danny's turn.
It's Danny's turn. Okay. All right.
Oh,
So
okay. So at the start of my turn, it moves 50 feet away.
okay.
Make a strength saving throw.
That's it's technically his turn right now.
Right, but it says a creature caught in the wall can move by swimming. Because of the force of the wave, the creature must make a successful strength athletics check against your spell DC in order to move at all. If it fails, it can't move.
So it has to make a save now to move.
Yeah.
Okay. It can move.
Okay.
Okay, so now that it can move, it says any huge or smaller creature inside the wall, when it moves, must succeed on a strength saving throw or take 5d10 bludgeoning damage. It has to roll again?
Yes.
Okay. Basically, it has the strength to move. It just isn't angry enough to take damage to move. Yes.
Okay. All right, so it has to take the damage now.
Did it make another strength
Also,
saving throw?
Danny, the damage also goes down every round. It goes like
Yeah,
60, 10,
because the
5,
wave's
10, 4,
slower.
10.
This one's 5d10. Basically,
It can only take this damage once per round.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So for the sake of argument, we're going to say all of that's going to happen on Danny's turn. So
Makes sense.
okay. So now it's turn. It got stabbed by Finn. It's going to it knows it's there. He's going to look down and just take his giant arm and just kind of try to squish you as it's going to kind of push down into the water.
that's not good if he's looking at that.
What's your AC?
Currently 21 because of haste.
Nice.
Okay, you dodge out of the way.
Nice.
You push back out of the way as this giant hand just goes and crushes. You see boulders crush under the weight of its hand.
I'm inspired at this point, so I'm going to look at it and I'm going to call it a son of a bitch in primordial.
Okay. All right. So it does that. It also looks over. It grabs that boulder, like it crushes rocks. It pulls up all this earth. He reaches back and he's just gonna basically fling it over this area, and everyone not in the ditch right here. So this will be basically Mcgrunden and also
No.
Glendon need to make a dexterity
Protect.
saving throw.
Protect Danny!
Let's see.
I was trying.
All right, so this is +4. 19?
Yes, you're good. Laz,
I got a
what's
12.
total is 12?
Yeah, I got a 12 and I got an 8. Or the echo.
All right. The Echo's dead, and you take 11. As flinging rocks just kind of like go everywhere. He also reaches out. He sees Feligar coming, and he's going to. Feligar's going to make a wisdom saving throw. He passes. Okay.
Nice.
Is there anything else that he wants to do on his turn? Yeah, he'll take a legendary action. As soon as he throws those rocks and he sees all that happen, he reaches over, and anyone also in this area, this cloud appears in the middle of the cavern, and bolts of lightning start crashing down on the ground.
X.
Yeah. So basically, Glendon and Mcgrunden need to take a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. So +4.
Gotcha.
So does a 1?
21.
One is a fail. One is a fail.
21.
But it's a spectacularly fail.
Good thing this is lightning damage, which I think you take half damage to.
I do. I have resistance to
that is
lightning.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. That's 24 damage. 24 damage.
I will take half of that.
And Glendon
Thankfully, because I had 24 hit points.
Glendon will also take half damage because it's safe for half.
It was 24.
Mm-hmm.
So 12. Okay.
And you will need to make a concentration saving throw to hold up the tsunami.
Coming. What is that? Is that wisdom?
It's a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution?
C10.
Yeah,
Concentration?
yeah. Concentration is Constitution saving throw.
Okay. This is a +4. Yes!
Pass.
Hooray!
Pass. All right, Glendon, it is now your turn.
Okay, so it moved 50 feet away.
All right,
Wave.
so now that it's on its turn, it has to make a saving throw again.
It automatically gets pushed back 50 feet.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I passed but I take half damage from what is it, 5d10 now?
Let me read it. At the start of each of your turns after the wall appears, the wall, moves, along with any creature in it, moves 50 feet away from you. It doesn't say anything about half.
You're right. It doesn't. Takes a saving throw or take the damage. So if he fails the damage, he takes. If he passes, he takes no damage.
Right.
So he takes no damage.
Well, that's what I'm.
Yeah, he takes no damage. Okay.
He did move back 50 feet.
Right. This does not take your turn or your action to maintain this.
It doesn't.
No.
Okay. I don't know what else to do that. Better hang back. Can I defend? Go into
Y'all are
defensive
gonna have
dodge?
to start getting some damage on this thing. I'm just helping you as your friendly neighborhood.
Yeah, plus you're in the area where it's
You're
shocking
in the-
lightning on us.
You're in the kill zone.
All right, I'll move over here then.
Yeah, apparently we're not far enough away to avoid damage because I'm dying.
How much HP do you have?
I get 12.
Oh God,
I got hit by rocks and lightning and stuff.
I have a greater heal potion. That I'll just toss it to him, or can I just go stick it in his mouth?
Toss it to him. I'll give you as a bonus action. You can just like grab the flask and toss it to him, and then you can still have an action if you want to do anything. You could move
it'll
twice.
Drop my concentration, won't it?
What?
If I try to like heal him.
No.
No, it's so long as you don't cast another spell that uses concentration, you're fine.
Oh, okay. I'll cat. Well, okay then. Which way is it? The left or the right one? Either way.
The left one.
Okay, so I'll run up and cast.
Cure wounds.
Yeah.
All right. So for the first level, give him a D8 plus your spell modifier. So just roll a D8. I think it's +2.
We need those for smiting.
I know, right? Is it worth it? I'm doing it. All right, D8 +2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's worth it, but Jesus. All right. Well, I tried. 4. Right. So then I'm getting the F out of dodge. All right.
All right.
You'll see him from here.
What's your spellcasting modifier? How much was that I healed?
Wisdom. Is it wisdom?
Yeah.
+2.
Actually, it's charisma for paladins.
Then +1.
We'll say it's 4. All right. So, all right. Also on your turn is Feligar. Feligar's going to run up. He will be raging, and he will be attacking this mighty beast. He'll miss with the... Actually, it's going to be an advantage because of the fin. He will land his attack. He will deal his damage, and also this. Not very good. So 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. Okay. He cuts. He basically, as this thing like reaches onto land, one giant claw hits the ground. Feligar goes and like hits his massive axe on this giant hand and kind of nicks him, and he pulls the axe back, screaming at this mighty beast. And now we go to Mcgrunden and Volo's turn.
All right, I will fly forward and I will unleash breath weapon on this giant thing.
Okay, it will make a dex save, which will be horrendously terrible. Fail, so I will take the full brunt of the damage. Roll.
Sorry, internet connectivity. What did you say?
He failed to save. You hit him.
Oh, excellent. 46. Unless he's weak to lightning. 16 damage.
All right, so you shoot this lightning into him. As it hits into his carapace, the energy is absorbed, and you see the energy like kind of moving up his throat, and you see his teeth start to chatter with lightning.
Could you give me my breath weapon back? You're a mean person. My echo comes with me, and that's and I drink this healing potion.
All right, there you go. 3d8 heal.
All right. 9. All right, and that's the end of my turn.
All right. Next we go to also on Mcgrunden is Volo's turn. I don't know what Volo can do here. Volo's just looking at this like.
Cast power word shit pants.
Mighty Dagon, perhaps you should just go home. As it makes a suggestion.
Home Dagon.
He failed, but he'll use legendary resistance to pass it.
Oh.
But that is one use. That is one use of it, though.
Mm-hmm.
That is one use of it, though. All right, Finn.
All right. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to still myself. And I'm going to say, Umberly, I've never prayed to you before. Valor pleases you, Umberly. So grant me one request. Grant me revenge. And if you do not listen, then to hell with you!
The
And I'm going to attack.
The Conan reference. Yes, attack.
Okay.
With advantage. That'll hit. Is that 10 damage? 10 damage?
10 plus a d6. 14.
That's really solid.
Second
Alright.
attack. 19 or 25.
That'll hit.
8 plus 12.
Is that any of that
Third attack.
Sneak attack?
Yeah, one of those.
Okay.
Hang on, let me make my third attack first.
Okay.
I'll just add a d6 at some point. Do I still have the thing from...
Yes, you do. You want to use it, D6?
Yep.
16 will not hit. But you are so inspired by just traveling with the legendary Volo that your aim
20
is
to hit.
true. Your aim is true, and you land your
My
attack
aim is true.
and roll
All
your
right.
damage.
All right. So that one is 4 plus 6. I'm going to go ahead and roll 2 6s. So that's 5, 9.
Okay. All right, you're just...
And bonus action,
That's right.
because that was my haste action. Actually, does haste give you 2 more attacks since
No,
you're...
one more attack.
Okay. Bonus action. Did it roll?
There it
What's
is.
it doing? It's like twitching.
It is twitching. That will miss. That will miss.
Okay.
All right, so you land 3 attacks. You're actually cutting into its foot at this point. It's like you're basically like cutting into like the Achilles.
The Achilles tendon.
The Achilles tendon, as you continue to hack at it. Also on your turn will be Barnabas. Barnabas will charge the field, and the army of Barnabases come rolling out of the ditch and charging like the beaches of Normandy. And all of these Barnabases come running up its arm and start hacking with it and beating it with a stick. So he is now in range for the army of Barnaby, which we'll see on his turn when that hits. As he's charging, he also grants his stick back and he flings it forward and throws more of the guiding bolt at it. And let's see if he can actually land the thing. He does, finally. So it will take 13 points of radiant damage. Oh, it's radiant damage. It's weak to that. So that's 26 points of damage.
Ooh.
Yay!
Okay. No. All right. So I just realized that Celestial Guardians is also radiant damage. All right, so Barnabas goes up. He finally hits the blast. This giant bolt goes into him. It just pierces its carapace, and he starts like looking about for what he's going to do on his turn, which will be terrible. And it is his turn. All right. The lightning storm that is here. On his turn, actually, I just realized something. Hold up. Nah, that's irrelevant.
Does he get hit by a wave of water first?
No, that's on Danny's turn. We decided that was on Danny's turn.
Right.
All right, so on his turn, he is going to reach back and let loose his breath weapon and his newly acquired breath weapon. And
It's further back, right?
What'd you say?
On my turn last time, he went 50 feet further back, which to him probably isn't much. But
Right. Well, no, he made his save, so he pushed through it.
I think you ought to. I don't know.
We'll come back.
Yeah, it
automatically
says
pushed you
you
back.
can move. I mean, he's so big too. It's like
Okay.
special rules.
Yeah.
Right.
Plus, he has a swim speed.
Right. All right, so he's moving forward. He's going to unleash his breath weapon, and basically what he's going to do is instead of shooting it in a line, he's just going to like turn his head and spray the entire cavern, which will lessen the impact, but everyone in front of him is basically going to turn into this massive lightning cone. Will have to make a dex saving throw. So Barnabas, Mcgrunden, Feligar will have to make the save. Not Volo because he's hiding, and not Glendon because he's 7 miles away.
You mean Finn?
Yes.
Finn, you're fine. Glendon is 7 miles away. Mcgrunden, you have passed. You're going to take half damage. Barnabas also passed. So actually, I'm going to say that Mcgrunden's half of half. Right?
Plus, it's lessened, right?
It is lessened. Right.
Half of half of half.
All right. So it's 12 half. So you take 3.
All right.
Barnabas takes 6, but he will have to make a concentration saving throw to see if he keeps up the army of Barnaby, and he does. All right. And because it's his turn, he has to make the wisdom saving throw for the army of Barnaby, which he passes, so he has to take... Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, he passes. Wait. No, he does not. he fails.
Yes.
So it's 3d8 doubled.
And this is radiant.
It is, so he'll take 32
Yeah.
points of damage.
Oof.
All right,
Here we
so
go.
the army of Barnaby
Right.
is tearing into him. He does that. He also will take an attack to punch Feligar, who's right next to his hand. So he's just got to pick it up and put it down. And that will absolutely hit. He is raging, so he takes half of that. And he's down.
10?
Yeah, he's down. Feligar's over.
Good.
Feligar falls over.
Oh
Okay.
No, I didn't
then
move.
all right, so he did that. Next, he's going to use his. He's going to try to kick at Finn, who's behind him. He's just basically going to kind of move his foot out of the way and try to hit him. And he will miss.
I'm gonna stab his foot.
All right, so he shifts his foot. You easily swim out of the way, and now it will go to Glendon's turn.
All right, so
And now it's your turn. I need to make the roll to see.
It's now 40-10.
all right, so
He fails.
4d10.
He takes 4d10. So roll 4d10.
All right. Come on.
31. That's a good one.
Ain't bad. All right.
Okay.
All right. I'll start making my way up.
Okay.
Making my way
Making your way
downtown.
downtown?
Yeah. I make it here. I don't know what these squares are.
Yeah, you're
The
fine.
ditch.
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
I'll give it to you. Is there anything else you're gonna do in your turn? Or are you just moving?
I'm maintaining concentration, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything I can really
So
do.
you just run and jump in the ditch. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As you're running, you run through the lightning storm. Because you don't end your turn there, it's just the effect of this lightning is blowing up around you, and you just run through it and then dive into the ditch as well. As you get there, you hear a ah! as Volo is like right next to you, was startled at the sudden like appearance of this giant furball jumping into the ditch. And with that, we go to Glendon's turn. Also on your turn is going to be Feligar, who will make a death saving throw. And that's a fail. Okay. And now we go to Mcgrunden.
Mcgrunden has little choice left. He will fly in. Well, I mean, he's still like right there. But I'll do my 2 attacks.
Okay.
We have advantage with us being spread out like this.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
I'm holding the rear with the gear.
Attack number 1,
Miss.
15. Attack number 2,
Miss.
14.
Miss.
And the butt end of it, 21.
Hit.
7 damage.
Yes, you do.
And that's all I got.
All right, so you're actually right in front of it, sitting swinging. You hit it with the bottom of the stick. You manage to pop it. It kind of moves its head as it's kind of like looking over at you. And with that, we go to Volo's turn. Volo is going to make a run for Feligar. And he's going to try to resuscitate Feligar with a medicine check. With lock, freeze. Did it? There it is. Okay. And he does not. He runs over. He goes, he's kind of at a loss of what to do, but he's standing there trying to see if he can help his friend. All right, and with that, we will go to Finn and the mighty Barnabas.
Does Barnabas' stuff go first or mine?
Barnabas's guys go at the start of the of Dagon's turn.
All right. I want to try to get his attention. So I'm going up above the water.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, hey, Dagon, are you going to bark all day, little doggy? Or are you going to bite?
It sounds like an intimidation check, so you're spending your turn to intimidate it.
No, I mean, I'm just saying that shit.
I'm just saying.
I'm quoting movies every turn if you haven't noticed.
I know. Okay.
To quote something.
All right.
Yeah, let's see. I'm not going to waste attacks when I've got haste on me.
I didn't know what you're trying.
24
That'll hit. So 9.
plus 2d6. Okay, second attack. Hit.
21.
21?
Yeah. Yep.
12
All right, so you did 9 plus 5 is 14. 12. So 26 damage.
plus 7 plus 8, so 34.
Okay.
And offhand.
Oh, man. Finn is going off. That will miss.
Going ham.
Yeah.
He's going ham. All right, so you're just cutting at it. You're actually finally breaking through its skin. You're having to attack the same point over and over. You're finally getting in there.
Yeah.
And with that, you can see the blood coming out in the water.
One thing.
Yes.
I'm going to spend a key point and try to stun it.
Oh, why not?
But
I mean, smoke them if you got them.
smoke them if you got them.
And to that, I say nay.
Okay.
All right. All right, and with that, it is Barnabas' turn. Barnabas is going to skirt over to the side here, still
Spread out.
still staying in range, and he's going to let loose a second level guiding bolt. Let's see if he can hit it, and that will hit. So that will be doubled. So 36 points of damage.
He's got to be pissing him off at this point.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah. All right. So with that, he lets loose. And when he cuts into the back of it, you see like part of its neck, like the light go in one way and out the other. So there's blood coming out either side of its neck with that last bolt. It starts looking about. Like there's a lot of blood all over this thing at this point between the army of Barnaby cutting at it, the knocking back of the wave, Finn cutting it left and right. Like it's actually starting to show some wear from all the damage y'all are dealing to it. With that, it is now its turn. At this point, he's going to reach over and he's going to try to go after Barnabas. So he's going to basically giant hand just go down and just try to crush Barnabas. That will hit.
Barnabas, no.
So he'll take 26 points of damage.
Ouch.
So he basically hits him with that. It knocks him to the ground. He has to make a concentration check, which will fail. The army of Barnaby dissipates. Actually, before he does that, he did start his turn. They may get one last turn in. He will fail, so we will get another attack of the army before he goes down.
Attack of the Toidles.
34. Okay, so Barnabas goes down. He crushes him. He reaches back, and he's going to go at him again. And with that, he just squishes Barnabas all the way to the ground. Barnabas is down. With that, he will now also take a legendary action. And he's going to move that lightning cloud that was here to here. So now it will be right over Glendon and also Mcgrunden. And so now as soon as that moves, both of you make dexterity saving throws. Man, Mcgrunden, pass. You're passing all of these.
Dex.
Hey.
All right, so this is +4.
Yeah.
What I rolled.
All right,
Yes.
so Glendon will take half, and then Mcgrunden will take half of half.
Oh, that's not good.
So 36.
18.
So you take
I
18,
take 18.
and which means
Yeah.
Mcgrunden takes 9.
He's Louise.
It's great to be a bronze dragonborn, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. And now with that, it is Glendon's turn.
All right.
Danny, read your phone.
All right. Let me, yeah.
Oh, we've got secret messages going on now, don't we? I see how it's going to be.
See that. Okay, so I'm looking for a mass up to 20 creatures that I can see regain all hit points.
Holy
Wishing.
shit.
Everybody gains all hit points for wish.
What are you doing?
Wishing. Instead of casting a spell, you can you allow up to 20 creatures that you can see to regain all hit points.
Greater Restoration.
You end all effects on them described in the Greater Restoration spell. It's under wish.
It is, so it's actually an ability of wish.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can cast any spell 8th or lower or do this.
All right, so tell me exactly what it is that you're wishing for here. Give me the words.
Myliki, please, help us conquer this evil. Raise my companions and give us newfound vigor to destroy this evil.
Okay. Just so you understand, what you just wished for is a little different than what we talked about. You wish for Myliki.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I just assume that's how this is working.
Yeah. All right. So you wished for Myliki to help you conquer this villain, this monster, and to return everyone to full health. That was the
basically.
wish. Okay. All right. So here's what's going to happen. All right. You raise up sword. As you wish that, the sword in your hand, the pommel grows hot. The blade explodes in this massive energy that just wrecks across the entire cavern. The healing energy of Myliki goes and attack and just like wraps itself around all of the other people in your party itself. The entire cavern begins to shake as the presence of Myliki comes into the cavern itself, and the cavern begins to break apart as giant boulders of the entire cavern is coming down, and you see boulders crashing on top of Dagon. In this last moment, as you're looking around and you seeing like basically all hell breaking loose of everything, you see everyone around you begin to get picked up by this energy that was released from you as Myliki has now come into the cavern itself. The next thing that happens is all of you are now whisked away magically, and it just goes not black, it goes white as your memory of this place is now gone as we enter and now have left the isle. So the final wish not only restored everyone back, but it also helped you conquer this monster, this evil, and by bringing down the entire chasm on top of it itself. So here is where we're going to end this story. As we end this story, we're now going to move into the epilogue of this story, where we're going to go and tell where every character is at the end of this story. Because what has now happened is you have used this blade again to rewrite fate. This is the third wish that you have used. The first was to return Volo. The second was to create the tsunami to help you defeat this. And the third was to summon Myliki. So this is what is actually going to happen. Now that fate has been turned, we're going to go into the epilogue of the story. Okay, so we're going to go down the list. Time is now different and has changed, and everyone is pulled back into time. So at this point, Finn, you are back at Baldur's Gate. You are back at Baldur's Gate. You are guised yourself as a priest of Umberlee, and you have no memory of the events that already had happened because now we're in a different timeline. You still have all of the abilities and the training and even the blades that you got in another way, but you're in a different time now because now you are in a place where you're still on the same quest. You're still on the same idea of trying to protect, but you have no memory of everything that happened before because you've been pulled out of that time zone, that timeline. As we go to Mcgrunden, you too find yourself on a different place. You look around and you are now the captain of a ship. You look around, you see all your kobold friends. You see Korik is there, as you are now the captain of this vessel. You look, you still have your
We have
wings.
Volo. Do we still have Volo?
Volo is not with you. But you are with Korik, you are with all of it, and you are a seafaring captain, a merchant vessel as you are, and you're sailing on to your next adventure. Again, no memory of anything that had happened other than that you've always been a captain of this ship, and how you came to meet these kobolds is a different story in a different time. With that, we move to...
Am I a dragonborn or am I half dragon?
You're half dragon. So all of the boons of
Always have
everything
been.
that happened, you always have been. Right. So at this point, we move to Glendon. Glendon, you're back at the lighthouse south of Baldur's Gate, where you've always been, where you grew up. However, you had this terrible dream of this grand adventure that you went on, and you can't really tell what it was, but you felt like it was a dream, and you find yourself back at the tavern where you were at the very beginning. The blade that you are wielding at this point is gone. It is no more. And you're just a simple turtle, protecting the wood, serving Myliki. You're
Turtle?
not turtle. I apologize. You're a simple furball.
I was going to say.
You're a simple furball. But at this point, you turn in the bar, and you look, and a turtle has entered into the bar, and he introduces himself as Barnabas. And Barnabas sits down and wants to buy you an ale and begins to tell you this amazing story that he had a dream and that you were in it. And somehow you both had this same story because both of you understand that something else has happened. And now y'all are in this different place. So you have, the story will end with you two sitting at a bar, having a drink, and sharing this tale of this dream that y'all both had and trying to figure out what are the gods playing at that you and I had the same dream of the same grand adventure. Volo is back at Waterdeep continuing his book tour like nothing ever happened. Except now he has grand inspiration of all these new monsters, all these new adventures, and he's writing new stories about this adventure that just came to him in inspiration. And Feligar, we don't know what happened to Feligar. Did he ever get off that island?
Sailing to an island with a succubus.
We don't really know.
Yeah.
So that will be.
This whole campaign was a dream sequence? Come on.
No, it's
I'm just kidding.
it's a different timeline. Y'all have been pulled into a different timeline. So many things happened in this game that changed the course of time because y'all kept dealing with different timelines and different time zones. So when Myliki pulled you out, you were all basically placed back in another time. And outside the game, the way to truly defeat Dagon was to shatter the rift that Ever created so that you cannot travel between Mystara and Faerun.
Oh, okay.
That is why the time had to change. That rift can never exist for Faerun to be safe.
Inadvertently, I did.
You saved the world.
Did you?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Don't know.
That's where you saved the world. Dot. Question mark.
Question mark.
Maybe Dagon was like their Santa Claus and I killed Santa. What's going on here?
All right, so with that, we're going to end this game. Now, the next game, we haven't decided yet. Will it be the continuing story of this group? Maybe you find each other again in some way. Or it'll be new story, new characters. We'll talk about that soon, and we'll come back in a few weeks and see what we do. And with that, we end the story. Good stuff.
Thanks, everyone, for watching.
All right, take